Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. Massive game for Manchester United today against Newcastle United. Results have gone our way, haven't they? They have gone our way. Chelsea dropping points yesterday. Liverpool losing against Everton, of course. And we have this opportunity today. Well, Leicester have won. I suppose that's not really gone our way, has it? But we've got this opportunity now to go and get a really good 3 points against Newcastle, which... You know, you can't sit here and say we're going to win, can you? You can't say that. That's not the way it works with Manchester United. We've learnt our lesson in this sense over the years. We've lost to Newcastle, haven't we? So Sheffield United only a few weeks ago. So I think I'm out of that phase myself where I'd go, oh yeah, we're definitely going to win. But, you know, we should be winning this game. Big initial news straight away is that there's no McTominay, no Cavani, no Donny van der Beek. And that is obviously disappointing. Of course it is. But injuries are going to happen. I think we're the last club that can start coming out and having a moan about, you know, having injuries, because we you know, look at what's happening at Liverpool. So, you know, I'm not gonna moan too much about that. I presume Matic and Fred play. I mean, the problem is that we're a little bit unfortunate here that we're losing players in the midfield area, because with no Pogba, no McTominay, no Van der Beek, obviously, thankfully Bruno's okay, but you know, Matic and Fred are both quite defensive-minded players. Well, they're not very creative. Whereas McTominay, he can break box to box. Pogba's obviously creative. Van der Beek's creative. So to have all three of those out at one time, you must take that on the chin, and it's unfortunate for Van der Beek really, because I think he would have been a good player to have available for this game. But it's not going to happen. So you move on. That's just the way it is. Mark, do something and jinx City. Step up, jinx Brig. Also, do you think Shola will make an appearance in the next few games? Says Angie S. I've tried my very best. My last tweet basically is trying to get a bit of a jinx out of this, but to be honest with you, I thought City would beat Arsenal today. What's your score prediction for today's game? Says Dick knows. Dick knows. My score prediction today is that Manchester United will win 2-0. I've got to do a little bit of a work on this team, because this was the team I predicted before we had confirmation on injuries. So there will be no Scott McTominay. So my assumption is that Nemanja Matic will come into the team, and therefore Fred will move across to there. Obviously, no Edison Cavani in the team either. So my assumption is, and I'm excited by this, is that Anthony Martial will start up front. It's logical to me that would happen, and I think it's the right thing to happen. I've only come here because it needs to refresh on there. But hello, everybody. It's quite a good. This is quite a good camera angle. This one, especially for the ladies and the boys who want a close up of Goldbridge. But yeah, there are desperate people out there. But here we go. We're back in the studio. So team news. There has been a few rumours that De Gea is going to get dropped for Henderson. There's a lot of people in the live comments talking about... there's a lot of people talking about Eric Bailly in the live comments, but I don't think he's going to do that. Greeting marks, haven't been able to catch you live recently, but have been watching on my own time. Can't wait for your Football Manager series, says Matt. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We were just talking about, I did a watch along earlier on for Leicester and Villa on That's Football, and we're talking about that. But I will let people have the details of that in due course. Arsenal playing well. Yeah, but Man City aren't necessarily that team. I've got it on. I've got Man City and Arsenal on. Man City aren't necessarily that team that blast teams 3 or 4-0 now, but they are that team that don't concede goals and grind out results whilst playing well as well. So, yeah. Mata, Bruno and Fred. Bailly has to play. Mark, Ahmed and Show. Right. Here's a bit of a lesson, Omar, right? I have been told that you pronounce his name... Show Ray T Ray. So some people, I've even said Shaw Tyre. It's Show Ray T Ray. That's how you know. That's how you pronounce it. Apparently, Show Ray T Ray. So it's 4 syllables. Mark, did you see how Bruno just ran into the referee over the wrong offside call in the last match? That's the enthusiasm we need in all our players, says Vishal. We do. And what's the prediction? I'm going to go 2-0. So yeah, there is a little bit of a talk about De Gea being dropped. I would just say this. Team news is going to be coming out in the next 20 minutes or so. There's nothing really been leaked as yet. But, you know what? Whether you want Henderson to be United's goalkeeper in the future or not, I think it would be really, really harsh, considering some of the dreadful performances we've seen from centre-backs, to Oh, I thought he'd scored there, De Bruyne. To see David De Gea dropped for a man of the match performance against West Brom, and then to see Lindelof and Maguire start, it would be the biggest it's nothing to do with Dean Henderson. It would be the biggest contradiction and a hypocrisy I've ever seen if Lindelof and Maguire started this game, but De Gea got dropped. So I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it will happen. I think David De Gea will start. It will start. What's wrong with the Rashford part on the lineup? Yeah, I don't know. It keeps doing this. It's because I need to use this one. I've got the wrong one on. Don't worry. Let me sort it. Yeah, it'll be fine now. Hello. It's not that time yet. 'Cause you're very quiet, Flex. It's not your time, is it yet? It'll work now. Thanks for letting me know. So, if De Gea is dropped, then Lindelof must be dropped as well. Exactly. He won't be dropped. I'd be absolutely stunned if he dropped. I do think what we were talking about this morning will be an issue in the summer. We've got to do something there. But the reality is, why would you drop De Gea? He was man of the match last week. He stopped us from losing the game. Henderson's going to play on Thursday in the Europa League. At the moment, they're playing a game each. But to be honest with you, I don't think anybody's ever looked at it from this point of view. If I was David De Gea, I would be saying, I want to play in the Europa League. Why am I not playing in the Europa League? Because, you're sharing this out. Why am I not playing in the Europa League? I'm the first choice goalkeeper. So you could look at it from that point of view as well. But at the moment, I don't think Henderson can have too much of a complaint. He is playing in the Europa League and he's been playing in the FA Cup. So from De Gea's point of view, he's got no chance of winning a trophy, has he? Because the only games he's getting played in is the Premier League. I'd love to see a Martial hat-trick, Mark. I think that, Martial's not had a good season. Let's be honest, he's not had a good season. But, when players can't play, like Cavani cannot come off the bench, he's injured today, then this is a big game for Anthony Martial. And I remember saying this in January, every player has to contribute at some point and step up. And, Rashford's won his games, Cavani's won his games, Bruno's won his plenty of games, Pogba's won his games, and Martial needs to step up. And, he might not be happy about being on the wing, but today you're going to play down the middle. So give us a problem. I think the one criticism I've heard about Martial that I do actually agree with is that, when he had the number 9 shirt took off him, he was playing really well before that, and then he didn't play well. Cavani comes in, he was player of the year, and now he's not. He does need to appreciate, he almost needs to back himself a little bit, really. You know what? Another player comes along and they're a good player and they take your spot. Well, they're injured now, and Cavani has got a bit of an injury record. So how's about, you take this opportunity? Because I put it down somewhere before. Yeah, Cavani here, look. So Cavani's had 35 games he could have been involved in for Man United now, and he's missed 11. So he's missed a third of our games through suspension and injury already. So, that injury thing with Cavani, if that continues over the next 18 months, he's not going to start every game, which means we're going to need a number 9. Well, he might not start if you're better than him anyway. There's a challenge there. There's a challenge there for Anthony Martial is what I'm saying. And it's not a foregone conclusion at the moment. Then, Cavani deserves to be the number 9. But it's not a foregone conclusion. He's not a 25-year-old best striker in the world. He's a 34-year-old who's done really well, but he won't play every game, and you can knock him out. You can knock him out that team. Will Diallo be playing, Mark, says Brendan? Not a chance for me. I don't think Diallo's going to get involved in this game today. No, I think that he may well be on the bench with Showry Thierry. You've got people like Dan James and Juan Mata that he's going to use before he uses them, whether you agree with that or not. Thank you for the contribution, Daniel Derbyshire. And prediction for United's player of the season and fans' player of the season at the end. Will it be between Bruno, Shaw and Rashford for those awards? I would like to think that Bruno Fernandes will clean sweep it, but you are right with the other two contenders, yeah. The leaked team from Mohammed, and he normally is quite accurate, I think. He says De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw, Fred, Matic, Mata, Bruno, Martial, and Greenwood. No Rashford. That would be surprising. But we'll keep an eye on that. But that would be very surprising if there is no Marcus Rashford in the side and Mata is starting. But he did start against Newcastle before, and I don't think it's the worst game to start Juan Mata in. To be honest with you, but. I would be surprised not to see Rashford in the side. Just having a quick check to see if there's anything coming in from anywhere else. But yeah, I mean, I don't think we wouldn't play Rashford in this game. I really don't think that would happen. But you never know, do you, at the moment? You just don't know what's going to happen with injuries and stuff. There was a bit of a scare around the COVID this morning. A lot of people talking about Manchester United and a COVID outbreak. Effectively, what's happened there is that there has been a bit of a COVID outbreak, but it involves first-team coaches, none of which are people like Carrick or Ollie. And this was known before we went to Turin to play on Thursday night. So there is no concern around the playing squad at the moment, although it is a little bit close to home, I would say that. Come on, Arsenal against City, says Ryan. When you're relying on Arsenal, that's pretty much... You know you've got a problem. That's the end of the sentence, isn't it? When you're relying on Arsenal for something, you're in trouble, basically. Thanks for the super chats. You can do that through the $ if you want to. Mark can finally see Greenwood's good form paying dividends today. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets a couple. In relation to Newcastle, there is nothing arrogant I can say. Of course we should win this game. They're not playing very well. I watched them play against Chelsea at the start of the week, and they were very poor. Toothless, to be honest. But how can we, as Manchester United, sit there and say this is a straightforward win when we've lost to Sheffield United, bottom of the league, and we nearly lost to West Brom last week? So there is absolutely no way we can sit here and say, well, we're definitely going to win this. We should win it, but you can't. In recent weeks, we've dropped silly points, 5 points in fact, to West Brom and Sheffield United. So yeah, we should win today. And I tell you what, we need to win today. We need to win today because of those silly points we've dropped, but we also need to win today because before this weekend, it was, imagine Liverpool had beaten Everton. Imagine Chelsea had beaten Southampton. This would be a high pressure game that we've got to win. So, we do have to win it. We can't play Maguire and Lindelof together ever, says Luke Hassler. Well, we will be playing them together today, Luke. And thank you for the super chat, Joseph Tyrrell. We will play them together today. And that always gives somebody an opportunity. Newcastle plays a low block, better sub on Rashi when Newcastle is tired. Diallo could be a sub as well. Mata is a starter. He can't make much difference as a sub, says Chelsea. Well, there is a rumour that Mata's going to start, and I think, that's quite interesting. And there is we've seen this league team that's got Mata in it instead of Rashford. I'm not going to change it, but it's basically that team there, but it's got Mata in it instead of Rashford. So we will see whether that happens or not. Does Fred deserve to be getting picked for Brazil, says Franklin? I don't know how crap Brazil are. It's hard to say, really. If Brazil aren't very good, then yeah, Fred probably should be in consideration. But if they've got lots of good players, then Fred shouldn't be in consideration. Mata should play instead of Greenwood, says Justin Lane. No, I want Greenwood to play. I think he's looking good at the moment. What's your predicted scorers? I don't predict my scorers, Charlie. And I don't know what people were on about. Arsenal were playing well against Man City. It's domination from Man City. They should have scored loads of goals already. Bit harsh on Fred, adds Mark. No, I think Fred is an underrated player at Manchester United, but I don't think he's a good player. I don't think he's a... we're talking about Brazil. Do I think Fred should be playing for Brazil? There's times I check his passport. He's not very Brazilian, is he? He doesn't strike me as a Brazilian player. So what I'm saying is, in the traditions of Brazil, I don't know that Fred would get in that team. It just depends how bad Brazil are. Because if they've got normal sort of midfielders, then I wouldn't expect Fred to be getting in their team. If Fred was Dutch, I'd say maybe get in their team. Being someone who suffers with mental health, I just want to say a big thank you for all you do, and I hope you and yours are safe and well. Big up the United Stand, says Luke82. Thank you, Luke. Appreciate that. And thanks for reading my comments, Mark, says Adds Music. You're right about Brazil. We don't have much luck with Brazilian players. I like Fred. I do like Fred. I've got nothing against Fred, and I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is I don't really see Fred as a starter for Brazil. But, I don't really take a lot of notice on international football. But Brazil, when I think about Brazil, you're thinking about them samba beats, the finesse, the ability to run at players and score goals from outside the box. And, Fred's not that sort of player. Fred's like, Fred reminds me of an English sort of midfielder, really, to be honest with you. He's definitely a good player, but he reminds me of an English midfielder. You know, tenacious, lots of energy, not particularly good at passing and not particularly good at shooting and not particularly creative. Any advice on anxiety, Mark? Says Philip. Breathing exercises are good. Focus on something and just focus on that. That's easier said than done. But it's a bit like Mr. Miyagi said. Nothing in the whole world exists. Only tree. Focus on a tree. Think of a tree. Think on a tree. Think how it feels. Think how it smells. Deep breathing. And try and rid yourself of anything else that's causing you the anxiety. So there you go. Little few seconds that might help you there. Who do you think we will sign? Says Omar. Well, now is not the time, and I've got no bloody idea. Controversial opinion, says Saif Hassan. Sir Alex Ferguson made United and destroyed United by appointing Moyes. I know it's Sir Alex, but he's subject to criticism. I disagree, but I can see where you're coming from, but I do disagree strongly. And do that one player from a team thing, says was that what one take? Well, I've been doing this a bit on That's Football recently. So you take one player from a team that you're watching that you take for your team. So this afternoon I was saying for Leicester it would be Ndidi because we need a CDM. From Newcastle, God, I'm struggling. What one player would I take from Newcastle? And that to me just is a bit like last week with West Brom. This is why we should be beating these teams, because I'm struggling to think of one player I'd take from Newcastle just to put on our bench. It would have to be St Maximin, wouldn't it? But I wouldn't start him. I don't think he's that good. Famous last words, but I don't. I think he's a typical sort of Newcastle player, really, that on his day he can be brilliant, but a lot of people in the live comments are saying that. Is having kids worth the headaches, as Ozzy Montana? Definitely. And hi Mark, would you take Sancho plus 25 million to centre-back or Adama Traore and Koundé? Well, we need a centre-back, Lunux, we do. Thanks for the super chat from Robbo FM. Fred should know his strength and weakness by now. Good at tackling, interceptions, breaking up the play, but when you get the ball, mate, just simple pass it. The problem we've got and the problem we might have today, let's talk about this game for a minute. So we're going to play Newcastle. That won't be a shock or anything. We're playing Newcastle. They haven't got Callum Wilson. They're a bit toothless up front, but they're industrious in the midfield. They'll work hard, and they'll work hard in their defensive shape. They're going to play a low block. They'd love a point. They'd love a point today. So United's big problem today for me is that with no McTominay, no Pogba and no Van der Beek, there's no real player to either pass to Bruno effectively or join Bruno effectively. So you're going to have Matic and you're going to have Fred. And there's not a lot of creativity from Matic and Fred. So that's an issue straight away. We're also up against the low block, and I'm wondering if this rumour that Mata is starting might be because of this, because we are going to struggle today from the mid. Well, Matic and Fred do not provide the creativity that we need. It doesn't mean they can't do it today, but they're not really that sort of player. And up against this low block, we're going to need a bit of creativity. So it wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea to try Juan Mata in a game like this. The main thing we've got to do against Newcastle is score early. We don't want them to score, and we certainly don't want to be going in 0-0 at half time. An early goal, and when I say early, the first half an hour a game is still early, but an early goal will open the game up, and that's what we need to try and do. Is Shoretari and Diallo on the bench? I'm 100% sure with time Diallo will force James out of the team. We need to get better centrally players at our biggest problem, creativity through the centrals, says Chelsea. I don't know whether they're going to be on the bench. I doubt they'll both be on the bench. Just thinking through it logically, the bench will probably be, if that's the team, which it isn't confirmed, but if that was the team, you're going to have Henderson on the bench, Bailly on the bench, Twansebi on the bench, Williams on the bench, Mata on the bench, James on the bench. That's 6, and I think you named 7. So there might be a spot for Diallo there. Yeah. If United lose, West Ham could overpass them, says Jeremy Young. And like putting a word in front of Bridge, not very creative, says Matthew Gartell. And Mark, I think Mata will start, says Darren. I'm still trying to find... I'm just trying to see if there's any sort of leak coming out that's strong. We have heard that Mata is starting, but it's not really confirmed as set in stone yet. There is a leak, but it's not a leak team. This is to do with the UK COVID. Schools 8th of March, beer gardens maximum 2 households 29th of March, non-essential retail 3rd week in April. A cautious 4-point plan on releasing lockdown based on vaccination rollout. Okay, that's interesting. I just saw the word leaked and I thought, oh, okay. But that's on that. Tellez has not got coronavirus because he's already had coronavirus. He had it in the autumn time. So I don't think that's true. Mark, don't you feel so happy for Lingard? He's coming for his place at United. Yo-yo. Good point. Good point. We probably won't get much chance to talk about that because we're 10 minutes out from the kickoff here. I think that is an interesting point about Jesse Lingard, and I just think I get it. I get why people are talking about it and saying, "Oh, that's Jesse Lingard can come back into the team." I think you've got to be very, very careful here, and I wonder how naive Solskjaer would be about this about Lingard. To me, I'm over the moon for Jesse. I think he's doing a fantastic job, and I'm really, really pleased for him. But there is absolutely no way that that Lingard, we should be thinking about bringing Lingard back to Manchester United and playing for Manchester United. I mean, I said it today on Twitter. I said, I'm really happy for Lingard. He's now got, this is what I've been saying for 18 months about Lingard. He needs to play first team football. He doesn't even need to sit on the bench for Manchester United. He's 28 years of age. He wants to play football. You can see how happy he is playing football. He probably wants to get back into the England side. This is what he needs to do. Where would he get in a Man United team? You're not dropping Bruno for Lingard. You're not thick. You're not going to drop Rashford or Greenwood for Lingard. And, we've got people like Diallo. We're looking at Sancho. Where would Lingard start for United? But at West Ham, he starts and he's one of their best players. This is like what Southampton have done with Minamino. They've took him from Liverpool. Can't get minutes for Liverpool, but he's one of their best players now for Southampton. So this is exactly what Lingard needs, and it's what United need to do as well. He needs to go. He needs to go in the summer, Jesse Lingard, and start playing regularly for a team like a West Ham, who are not a top 6 side traditionally, but he can play for them. So I think, there's not one bit of me that thinks let's bring Lingard back to United and use him. I think that would be I think it would be wrong for him because he'll just end up on the bench again. And I think it would be cheap from us to think that Jesse Lingard can solve problems because he's now doing well at West Ham. He's doing well at West Ham because the pressure's not there. He's starting games. He's enjoying himself. And the quality at West Ham is not the same as the quality of competition that he's got at United. So, yeah, that's what I think about that. But so I'm really pleased for him. And the great thing about it for us is that his value, all right, he's only got a year left on his contract, but his value is there now, isn't it? And we should be able to get some money for him, which would be good. Did you hear Sancho? He sounds a lot different being in Germany. I heard the Sancho thing. It's very funny. Basically, what Sancho's done is what a lot of people do when they're on holiday. When you're on holiday in Spain and you speak in English but with a Spanish tilt. So you go, people speak they'll speak. So basically, Sancho's speaking German but English. So he's speaking with an German accent but English. It's quite funny. But a lot of people do that. They do. City out for a swim with that kit, says Dean Casabath. I don't think Arsenal are getting anything out of this game, by the way. I've got it on, and they're just, they're so good. They're so good. Man City are so good, that is. Hey, Mark, I saw a few interviews with Ollie, and he mentioned Fred scoring from distance. I think Fred shouldn't be focusing on shots. No. The only shots he should be focusing on is on a night out, not from the edge of the box. Certainly not with his right foot. It would be. We need to, get the ball to the players who can create things, and we'll be absolutely fine. This is not the confirmed team, though. It's not the confirmed side. Tom Jolly, I've blocked you. You've done it 4 times now in capital letters, and it's just trolling. No one's interested in your lies. And I don't know how to do accents. Can you teach me, says Felix? No. This is not the leaked team. This is just the predicted team. There hasn't been a leaked team, really. There has been talk of Juan Mata starting. In fact, I know where I can probably find out for you. But there has been talk that Juan Mata's starting, but there's not been any real strong leaks as of yet, and considering that team will be out in 5 minutes, it doesn't look like we're going to get a leaked team really either. So just having a quick look now. Yeah, there's nothing really floating around. As I said, there was something a bit earlier about De Gea not being dropped for Henderson, which I think would just be ridiculous. But is Bruce good enough for the Prem in your opinion? Says Kieran Army. And Man United to bottle top 4, says Sadie. Dan James starting, says Ram. It's interesting really, because we're kicking off at 7 o'clock, and James, Martial, Rashford front 3 and Matic, Fred pivot is what United Cynical is saying. Rumours that Dan James and Mata are starting. Dan James, Martial and Rashford the front 3 for Man United tonight. Matic also starts. That's coming out at the moment. I mean, starting Dan James against the low... is a massive risk if true. I don't know. We're going to find out in the next few minutes, but let me just see if I can get something on that, because that to me is brave from Ollie if he's done that. If he's starting Dan James against Newcastle, Greenwood's on the bench apparently, but that would be really surprising to start Dan James against this side, who will play a low block. But the thing I always think with Ollie is that there's just never really any consistency on what he's doing. Dan James was hardly used at all for 3 months. He scores against Sociedad, and it's suddenly like you're back in the team from the fray. It just really, really weird. So there is strong indications now, and I must put him in the team, that Dan James is starting and Mason Greenwood is on the bench, which is really surprising for a game like this that we need to win to do that. But, you know, it might work. So I've changed the team in relation to what we think it is. But I think that's... it's brave, and I wouldn't do it, is what I would say. I would not have started Dan James over Mason Greenwood for a million reasons, but I also wouldn't have started Dan James against the low block. So, I also don't think Dan James played very well on Thursday night. I've got to be honest. I gave him a high score because he got a goal and he got an assist in the second half. But I thought in the first half he was running around like a bloody headless chicken, really. So I don't think he's... I mean, you say Mason Greenwood or Dan James. I don't know anybody that's going to say... Well, I know one person. Fleck, it's me, Fleck. But I don't know. It's the inconsistency, isn't it? If this happens, it's the inconsistency, because Mason Greenwood for me has looked as good as he's looked in a long time these last few games, and then to be left out for Dan James, where's the consistency on team selection around performance? And of course we do need to rotate, but you know, maybe Greenwood's carrying a knock. I don't know. Matic is always going to start. Always going to start, isn't he, Matic? So the lineup's on the app. Let's get it. So I think we know what it is, but let's just get it confirmed. Starting him after Leeds, he doesn't learn, says Cavani FC. Oh, I haven't got the team on the app at the moment. But we are a minute away from it coming out. Let's have a look. 59. with United. Sometimes they put it out first on Twitter. Sometimes they put it out first on Insta. You sort of have to go for both. Neither. There we go. So Dan James does start. De Gea in goal. Lindelof and Maguire. Wan-Bissaka and Shaw. Fred and Matic. Fernandes. Dan James. Martial and Rashford. So that is the team. On the bench, you've got Henderson, Tellez, Bailly, Twansebi, Williams, Ahmad, Mata, Greenwood, Shoretiri. So Dan James starting for Manchester United is the story. That is it. And well, it gives us something to talk about now, doesn't it? Because I wouldn't have predicted that at all. And as I said, it's brave, and I wouldn't have done it. I mean, that's the sentence, isn't it? I would not have done that. Having said that, we should still win this game. I don't think that Mason Greenwood should be dropped in his recent form. I never think Mason Greenwood should be dropped for Dan James. And the third thing is, I don't think Dan James works against a low block. Is he a creative player? No. Is he a player that, doesn't need his pace? No. So I don't think that this makes a lot of sense, if I'm honest with you. But it's brave. It's brave from Solskjaer, and you hope it does work. But I look at the bench and I see Diallo, Mata and Greenwood all better options than Dan James. But he's gone with Dan James. And the thing, I understand people's frustration, because how many times over the last 2 months have we shouted at Solskjaer to make subs, and he's turned round with Dan James on his bench and ignored him. And then he scores a goal against Sociedad and it's suddenly, right, you're starting over Mason Greenwood. It's this fuzzy thinking that just frustrates and confuses people, because he's absolutely ignored Dan James off that bench for 2 or 3 months. And then suddenly he's like dropping Greenwood for him. So I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I don't rate Dan James that much. I think he's very one-dimensional, but I hope he does well tonight. Watching Dan James plays for us is like sticking needles in your eyes. Well, let's hope it works tonight, Cade. I mean, he's a Manchester United player. I hope it works. But for me, it's not even about Dan James. It's about the options. Mason Greenwood should be starting that game. I just all I imagine is, right, the ball goes to the right wing. Newcastle have got a low block. Mason Greenwood on his left foot stands the fullback up, cuts inside, gets a shot off. Dan James on his right foot, what's he going to do? What is he going to do? He's not really got a trick on him. But look, hopefully it's going to work out okay. The other thing is, let's talk about it. Lindelof and Maguire at the back. There's no creativity from the midfield with Matic and Fred. We were worried a little bit about Dan James off the right. Martial through the middle's not really set the world on fire recently. There's a lot of pressure on getting that ball to Bruno Fernandes tonight. And I think, we desperately need an early goal. And I look at a lot of players in that team and I think, oh God, some of them haven't really played a lot of football in the Premier League. Certainly James, Matic and Martial, they've not really played much in the Premier League at the moment. So I think Greenwood's not starting Greenwood is criminal, says Nate H. I do sort of agree. Greenwood playing the best out of all the attack and he starts James instead of him. It may work, but it's bonkers and doesn't make sense. I agree with that, Stephen Cherney. And watching Dan James, we've done that one from Cade. So let's have a look at this Newcastle team, because, look, we talk about the changes we've made, but I think Ollie should be able to play the reserves and get a result today. So they've got Darlow in goal, Kraft, Lascelles, Clark and Lewis. Hayden, Shelvey, Willock and Almiron with St Maximum and Joe Linton. It's not a terrible team. I think when you look at that Newcastle side, we should beat it, but it's not worse than Sheffield United who beat us, and it's not worse than West Brom who nearly beat us. So, they have got a lot of injuries. They don't have a lot of options, but much the same as West Brom last week, that will be a team that will be competitive. and that will be a team that will get at us in a physical sense. So we're going to have to be on it. And I've got to be honest, I'm quite surprised by that team. Nothing ever really surprises me with United at the moment, but I am a little bit surprised at the moment. And I think the funny thing is, I've just seen a poll on social media, just going back to the centre-back pairing. If I said to all of you right now, what's Man United's best centre-back pairing? Lindelof and Maguire or Maguire and Bailly? I think over 90% of you would go, it's Maguire and Bailly. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer thinks it's Lindelof and Maguire. So don't come at me with Dan James starting over Greenwood's a shock. We have got a manager that does things that most of the fan base wouldn't do. And maybe that sticks. Maybe that stands out as a reasoning for everything that he does. That there isn't a lot of. There's total logic from what Solskjaer's doing, but it's hard to understand because that core principle of why we've conceded so many goals is our centre back pairing, and that yet here we are again. I mean, look. Lindelof cost us a goal in the very first few minutes against West Brom last week, and yet here he is running out in a United shirt, and Eric Bailly's, playing on the bench again, despite playing well on Thursday night. So, let people moan that Henderson should be starting in goal. That's not the real issue, is it? Mark, which would you choose for partnership, Maguire and Bailly or Lindelof and Bailly? Paul Gould, well, it should be Maguire and Bailly. I think it's very obvious that it should be Maguire and Bailly. And I agree with that, what GI says. Maguire and Twansebi wouldn't be too bad. Maguire and McTominay's probably better. But, hi Mark, do you think the reason behind Lindelof playing so many games is to do with something in his contract about game time and appearances? I doubt it. I doubt a player of that quality has something in their contract that they have to play so many games. And Lindelof and Twansebi is really good, but Bailly and Maguire is the best, says Sahil. Look, I know people get very frustrated about team news, but I say this all the time. The amount of times that we moan about team selections and then we go and win quite convincingly. So I wouldn't say that team means we're going to lose, but I think we could have put a better team out, is what I would say. I think we could have put a better team out. I think Greenwood should be playing from the right, and I'm not really sure why that's not happened. And I think that Bailly should be playing at centre-back. Matic and Fred is a victim of injury. There's nothing else we can do. This deep double pivot setup is killing me, says Robbo FM. There's not a lot we can do. Score prediction after that 11 marks, says Callum. I'm still going to stick with United to win 2-0. I think that Newcastle do struggle to score goals. And I think that I don't think we look like we're going to go and win 3 or 4-0 with that team. But I do think we'll win 2-0. Is playing Dan James not a message to the squad that if you play well, you will get a chance, says Crib? Well, what's happening with Greenwood then? Has Greenwood not been playing well? I don't think it's a message. I think it's a mixed message. I think there's always mixed messages from Ollie. Ollie clearly prefers Lindelof because he's a Viking like Ollie, and Vikings never give up, according to Ollie, says Shalendra. Well, I'm not a Viking and I don't give up. So what are we to believe now? Just because you come from a certain area of the world, you don't give up? What a load of shit. I mean, with all due respect, if that was true, I'd say to Ollie, look, great that you're from Norway and you're a Viking and you think you've got that Viking mentality and you think Lindelof has. But I think there's a lot of players from a lot of places in the world that don't give up. Roy Keane was Irish, wasn't a bloody Viking, was he? I would have kept the same lineup but play Shaw. What do you think? Says Cole McQuirk. Shaw is playing. And is he saving Eric for Chelsea? No. We can't. John, we can't have these conversations anymore. We can't have these conversations anymore about saving players for this, that and the other. This is a must-win game. Today is bigger than Chelsea because if we don't win today, we open up the door for top 4. He's picked a game today to win. There's nothing about resting players today. It's not about, I'm saving Bailly for Chelsea. We've lost to Sheffield United at home and we drew with West Brom away. This is a game to put your best team out. He's put his best team out. If you don't agree with it, and I don't agree with it, I must admit, but it's brave, but he's put out the team he thinks wins this game. He's put his best centre-back pairing out. He's put Dan James on the right and Greenwood on the bench. He's the manager. We have to sell Van der Beek. We're ruining his potential, says Brian Garcia. He's injured, Brian. to be fair. Van de Beek can't play today when he's injured. And defensive football, here we come, says ET Active. And I think he should have rested Rashford for James instead. And if we need help, we could have brought Rashford on for the second half, says Luke Mason. Come on, Orba, 10 minutes to get 2 goals. Let's go all out, says MUFC. And also, I would have I've done that one as well. Thanks for the super chats that are coming in. Please smash a like on the video. Can I just remind you as well, we're 50 minutes away from kickoff, but I have put it in the video description, I think. I hope I have. Yes, I have. Let me just click it so I know what questions there are. United stand picks. The link is in the video description. All you've got to do is answer 10 questions. 12 questions it is, actually. You've got to be over 18 to play because we've got a £1,000 cash prize pot. The questions are all to do with the match itself, and you get points during the game for those outcomes. So will Man United score in the first half? Yes or no. If you get it right, you get 2 points. Will they score in the second half? Yes or no. How many goals will we score? Will Rashford score? Yes or no. Will Bruno score? Yes or no. Will Rashford get an assist? Yes or no. Will Bruno get an assist? Yes or no. And then there's another 5 or 6 questions. The people with the most points at the end share the prize pot. It's £1,000. It's free to enter. You must be over 18. The link is in the video description, as are the terms and conditions, and please play responsibly. If you've already downloaded it, get on it now, and you may as well play it because it's free to enter. If you haven't downloaded it, get on it now. You've got about 45 minutes to enter it before kickoff, and there's a live leaderboard once the game's up and running. Totally free to enter. You must be over 18 though, and it's a £1,000 cash prize pot. Link in the video description. Get on that, and good luck to everyone who's going to play it. De Gea starts again, says Susan. Yes, and James to tire out the defence for Greenwood to come on and make them look silly, says Michael McCann. But I can understand that, but when have we been good enough to put Sonic the Hedgehog on the wing to run up and down to tire out their fullback? I mean, we've got to be bigger than this, and we've got to be better than that. And I don't care what happens. Dan James could score a hat-trick. I would still sit here and say, right now, right here, that Manchester United should be picking Mason Greenwood over Dan James. Unless there is an injury or a knock. And look, we don't know that. But, the chance, the decision to start James over Greenwood is very, 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 very surprising. Just having a quick look here. Is that right, Manchester Evening News. This is what somebody was just talking about there. It should not make too much difference against a team as unwatchable as Newcastle, but persisting with De Gea, Lindelof and Maguire is like trying to jumpstart a car that doesn't have an engine. It is not going to get United anywhere. 1, stop using analogies, because that's always been my thing, so I don't know why you're trying to do that for a bit of comedy effect. And 2, why are you chucking De Gea in with Lindelof and Maguire to try and make your argument more relevant? You've been on about David De Gea for bloody ages. Nothing to do with Maguire and Lindelof. You've been after De Gea for months trying to get him out of the team for Dean Henderson. And now, because you've hit a brick wall, what's now happening with Manchester Evening News is that they're chucking De Gea in with the centre-back pairing. I mean, do they even watch football? Since when has a goalkeeper got any correlation to how the centre-back partnership plays? What a load of crap. I tell you what, it's a witch hunt. So now it's like, oh, De Gea and Lindelof need to be dropped and Henderson and Bailly need to play. Goalkeeper and centre-back, that's got nothing to do with it. This is just how scapegoated David De Gea is and how biased it is now. That they're trying to make a good point with a bad point. Yes, Lindelof shouldn't be playing and Bailly should be playing. But Lindelof and De Gea is not the thing. It's not the thing at all. So, idiotic in my opinion. There you go. But I don't agree with that. I think that's really, really, really wrong to start saying that De Gea is now in the same category as Lindelof, because there's no correlation. If you've played at any level of football, your centre-back pairing is a big, big issue. But your centre-back and your goalkeeper, goalkeepers are their own thing. Greenwood cuts inside, James keeps the width as United's call, and Mark, the goalie commands the box. We know one of De Gea's weaknesses commanding the box is Avery Sharp. And Mark, honestly can't see a future for Lindelof at United. Even though I love him, he's comparable to Maguire, but without this aerial ability. I disagree with you, RT Vic. I think that I can see a very good future for Lindelof because he's playing. He's playing the game, isn't he? So I can see a future for him, definitely. Dennis, I'm blocking you. Boring. Shut up. Dennis Long, you. Yeah. And Harry Costa's the game to Everton, says Alex. Yep. And Mark, stop overlooking the goalkeeper organiser's defence. Alexander, have you actually ever played football, mate? Because I played centre-back. My goalkeeper didn't organise me. He might organise me on a cross. He might shout at me on a corner. He doesn't organise me on the halfway line. He doesn't organise me halfway up the pitch. Your centre-back pairing organises itself. The goalkeeper isn't standing there in his own box telling Harry Maguire and Lindelof on the halfway line where to stand. Goalkeeper will organise you on a free kick. Goalkeeper will shout at you to push out from a corner. But they will not sort out your defensive line and your offside trap. What are you talking about? You're ahead to bye-bye trading cards and more. There's a few to get rid of today. I'm loving it. And agree with you, Mark. De Gea had been a great servant and should stick by him. Henderson can wait for his turn. He can sit down and wait for his turn, Christian. That's exactly what he can do. You do not drop a man-of-the-match goalkeeper who last time out was man of the match and saved us from losing a game. And anybody else who thinks that he should be dropped is foolish, because I've never heard such nonsense in all my life. In the long term, maybe De Gea makes a mistake and Henderson comes in. I'm not saying that won't happen. He probably is one big mistake away from being dropped. I accept that. But what I will stand up with, and I always will stand with De Gea, because I think he's been a great servant to the club and I think he's a good goalkeeper and I'll always want the best for him. But at the moment, there's absolutely no way he should be getting dropped. Just because bye-bye Alvaro Lopez. Bye-bye. And Super Chat, said it earlier but worth repeating, De Gea is one of our only players who has won anything relevant. Until he costs us a game, he's my goalkeeper. Exactly, Jake, and I would agree with you on that. I think if we were playing this game today, United hit the post 10 times, and in the last 5 minutes, Newcastle get a corner, David De Gea catches it, drops it, and Linton passes it into the net to win it. Henderson, you're playing against Chelsea. I'm not blind. That does need to happen. I think people seem to think that I don't rate Henderson when I do. What I'm saying is it would be Real Madrid-esque nonsense to drop a goalkeeper who's not playing badly to try somebody else out. You know, you've got to wait your turn. And as I just said there, Dean Henderson needs to sit down and wait. And the press that are trying to force De Gea out the team needs to have a long, hard look at themselves and think, what do you get paid to do? Do you get paid to talk about Man United? Are you a Manchester United correspondent? Well, maybe shut up and get behind the goalkeeper of this team that's been a great for this team and has not been at fault for any of the goals that has cost us games this season. You know, your little agenda just needs to wait. Henderson probably will end up being our goalkeeper, but have a bit of bloody patience and support your players that aren't doing that badly. What's your prediction, Mark? Mine's 3-1 to United, says Tom Burns. I'm going to go 2-0. Let's all unfollow and block Manchester Evening News and all the United reporters and that Pratt Samuel Lockhurst too, says Rich William. Well, no, everyone's got an opinion. And Manchester Evening News actually has a lot of good stuff on there and a lot of good writers. But when you express an opinion, as I know, then you must be called out on that opinion if people think something opposed to it. And having read what was been written there about De Gea being thrown in with Lindelof, that's just trying to win your argument a different way. Because what's been trying to happen for weeks is just go for De Gea, and people are like, what you on about? Now it's like, if I mention it as well as Lindelof, no one wants Lindelof to play, and I can put De Gea in it. It's very, very sneaky what's happening on that, because it's got no correlation between Lindelof playing ahead of Bailly and De Gea playing ahead of Henderson. Like, Lindelof is shit and has cost us a lot of goals this season, including last week. De Gea was, well, just look at last week. Lindelof was atrocious last week and cost us he nearly cost us 2. He did cost us 1 goal. Maguire nearly cost us another goal, and De Gea saved us from losing. So why is De Gea being thrown in with Lindelof if it's not to try and further your agenda? Never going to win titles with those clowns at the back, says Cade. Diaz revitalised Stones at City. I reckon the same could happen to Maguire with Koundé, says Erect. And Mark's on a rampage. If United were this ruthless, Jones would have been gone years ago. On another note, we need Matic and Martial to step up today, says Sean Atwood. We do. I really want to see I've said this for a few weeks about Matic, that he's had such a bad season. You're right to mention Martial with Matic. Martial last season was Player of the Year, and I thought Matic from Christmas to the end of last season was superb. This season, retires from Serbian international duty, and awful. And he's been given chances, and he's been awful. Remember, Matic played against Sheffield United, and he was trash. So it's really important. If we can get Matic anywhere near back to his best form, then we're going to be a better team because of it. But this season, he's been unfathomingly bad. So I hope he does have a good game today. And the same with Martial. Look, I'm a massive fan of Martial. He's not been that great today. He really hasn't. But no, I think we should have enough to win today. But I'm not going to predict. I'm going to predict 2-0, but I'm not going to say we're definitely going to win. You just don't know with this side, and there's certainly areas for concern in that team. The lack of creativity from the pivot, Dan James off the right, Maguire and Lindelof always give opposition a chance. But then on the positive, you've got Luke Shaw, Marcus Rashford, Fred's been doing quite well, Bruno's been fantastic. We've just got to get the quick ball to Bruno. He's going to have a busy day today. And on Lindelof, my final word is that if you're not going to drop him after last week, he's never going to drop him. Thoughts on Ben Godfrey, United left centre-back, says Louis. No, thank you. And also, we've got, personally, I'd try and swap Martial for Calvert-Lewin and throw in a cheeky 25 million. Says anything with Tom. I don't know whether Martial would want to go to Everton. Maguire cost us more goals this season than Lindelof, yet we're asking for Lindelof to be dropped, says Bamba. I think the reason for that, Bamba, is because we've seen Maguire play with Eric Bailly and it looks quite good. We've never seen Lindelof with Bailly, so you just go with the evidence, don't you? Robert Johnson, if we finish second knowing that we dropped sloppy points and had an embarrassing transfer window, I'll be happy. And thank you for that, Robert Johnson. And Mark, can you please say Scooby-Doo for my Scottish mate Mike? I'm not going to read the second name, George. Why do people put two words together that are rude and expect me not to read it before saying it? And also, everybody always does Mike space ox long. They always do that one. I'm never going to fall for it, George. But thank you for the super chat. And I will say Scooby-Doo for you. If we lose, Ollie should be sacked at the end of the season, says Mika. I don't think we need to talk about losing. Solskjaer on starting Dan James. He played really well in the game versus Sociedad. He gave us the energy and drive and has worked really hard, so we felt it was right to continue with him. So basically, if you work hard, you'll get a chance under Ollie. We've heard this so many times before. Why is Eric Bailly not playing then? He's also said, I thought his performance was excellent. He gives us energy in the pressing. He gives us runs in behind, keeps the width for us. We felt he deserves another start. The two of them, Matic and Fred, have played together before, but Paul, Donny and Scott are all injured, so I'm glad I've got Fred and Nemanja. He's got a few more comments coming out as well. Donny's so unlucky. This was his time to shine. Looking forward to see Diallo play. Anyway, let's go United, says Sashin. I'm just going to stretch my back here while I read some of your comments. Arsenal have just lost 1-0. No surprises there. It's like water being wet. Does it get to a point where we see the formation and players and don't even want to watch anymore, says Raz. We're second in the league. Let's not get too negative. Look, you're always going to get team selections that you don't agree with. We totally expected Maguire and Lindelof to start, so we can't get our knickers in a twist about that. We've all expressed it. Even the press express it now. Ollie knows it. Nobody rates Maguire and Lindelof, but he does. He's the manager. And, maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer isn't the manager for Manchester United. Maybe he isn't. This is why I say wait till May. Maybe he's not. He does do a lot of things I don't agree with, and he probably does a lot of things you don't agree with, but he is the manager of Manchester United, and we are Manchester United fans, and we do need to win this game, and we are second in the league. You can back a manager and disagree with what he does. You can certainly support a team and not agree with what the manager's doing. We've done that for about 5 years with the last few managers we've had. So the main thing is that we win, but I don't agree with Maguire and Lindelof. I hate it. I don't know why Harry Maguire doesn't hate it. I wonder if Harry Maguire says to Ollie, I hate playing with Eric Bailly. I mean, I just don't understand why we keep playing Lindelof. But as for Dan James on the right, I don't rate Dan James. I really don't. But I didn't really rate McTominay 3 years ago. And he's, he has got better. And Dan James could get better as well. And if he does, we should all be happy about that, because we want this team to succeed. So we don't have all the answers. Maybe Ollie has got the answers. Maybe Dan James is a better player than Mason Greenwood. Maybe Victor Lindelof and Maguire is a better partnership than Bailly and Maguire. Maybe Ollie is right. Maybe he should be right. He gets paid the money we don't get paid. So ultimately, I just want Manchester United to win. I think that's what all you want. But if we didn't have an opinion, we wouldn't be watching. I think when you haven't got an opinion, that's the time to stop watching. We are third in the league. Yeah, we can be second tonight. Can you call Ben Stafford and Josh Muggs, please, says Josh. And hi, Mark. It's usually early watching United in California. Could you please call me a prat for my morning alarm, says Cal Johnson. And hello from across the pond, Mark. All hail the Queen, says Bain. And thanks for the super chats that are coming in, by the way. You can do that through the $sign if you want. I've forgotten to say this. I'll get into trouble off Draughty for this. But let me just say it now. I'm surprised. That it's not been said, but I hate watching Man City. They aren't just winning, they aren't even trailing in any game. Football gods do something. Had to support Arsenal today, says Shay. The thing about Man City is that they're not battering teams 4 or 5-0, like I said, but they are just not conceding goals, and they're grinding out the results whilst playing well. So, yeah, what I was going to say is please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And the reason I was going to say that is that it's quite exciting, really. There is a reason for it. We're currently on 989,700. We're 300 subscribers away from 990, which means we're on the final countdown, 10,000 to 1 million. So please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and share the video. We're 300 away from 990, bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. And you can share the video through smashing a like and clicking the share button down there. Would love to see Blake Bailly play every game, but can he do that? Too injury prone. Keep positive, Mark. Great seeing you so positive the last few weeks, says Kieran Byrne. I think you become quite positive when you just accept that I'm not personally going to jump either way until May. I'm not going to declare give Ollie a 5-year contract right now, and I'm not going to say sack Ollie right now. I want us to get top 4 and win a trophy this season, and at the end of the season we can make our mind up about what we want, and I'm quite relaxed about that. However, when teams come out like that, I just say it's very brave. I'm not going to call him stupid. I think in the past I would have done, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say it's a brave team selection to start Dan James over Mason Greenwood, and it's a brave team selection to pick Lindelof over Bailly. I think it's wrong. We'll see who's right. Hi, Mark. Can you give a shout out to my friend Mike, says Luke. Again, you've just put 2 names together I'm never going to read out. And remember yesterday I said I think Ollie would start James for scoring, and I'm worried. Let's just hope he plays well, says Callum Turner. Well, it adds a bit of excitement to the game in a less exciting way than Greenwood, but you know what I mean. Rafinha from Leeds for James. Rafinha is better against low blocks and has the second most passes into the box in the league behind Bruno. And that's from Maths, and I'm not reading your name either because it's rude. Hi, Mark. Where do you see Axel Twansebi going from here? Cheers from Denmark. I thought it was going to say I see him in Denmark, William. God only knows what's happening with Axel Twansebi. He seems to sit on the bench more than Van der Beek and do nothing. He surely will start on Thursday. Where do you sit on Marcus Rashford, says Paul Not Nice. I think Rashford's having a good season. I think he plays in a position that is traditionally quite inconsistent anyway. But when you look at his contributions across the season so far, he's been one of our biggest contributors. I think the frustration with Rashford, if I can call it that, is that he has got so much more to offer. And I think sometimes, whether it's a one-on-one chance or it's a final ball cross, he's quite frustrating. But I truly believe that he has got the ability to go to that next level. But even if he doesn't, he's still a very, very important player for Manchester United. Not every player has to be a world-class player. And I think if you had a Jadon Sancho off the right and you had Mason Greenwood off the left, playing in the form that he's in, I think people wouldn't get on Rashford's case as much. I think there's a reliance on Marcus Rashford because there's a lot of disruption and inconsistency in the number 9 and the number and in the right hand side. And Rashford seems to play every week. So I think Rashford there is a bigger expectation on Marcus Rashford. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's favouritism continues. He never learns. It's shocking, says Tabres. And can you say hello to my friend Robin, says Fer. Hello, Robin. I really hope Martial comes through tonight, says Andrew Niad. Well, the best thing that can happen tonight is that Dan James gets a goal and an assist. Martial gets both those goals. No. Martial gets a couple of goals. And we get a clean sheet at the back. And we get out with a 3-0 win. And, everything's fine. Absolutely everything's fine then, isn't it? But I understand people's concerns. I really do. Remember to play United Stand Picks. It's a £1,000 cash prize pot. Links in the video description. If you've already downloaded it, answer your 12 questions. You've got just under half an hour to do it before the game kicks off. If you've never played it before, you've got to be over 18. £1,000 cash prize pot is why you've got to be over 18, but it's free to enter. Terms and conditions are and play responsibly. Link in the video description. But it's 12 questions to do with the game, like will United score in the first half, yes or no? Will Rashford score, yes or no? You get points for everything you get right. There's a live leaderboard once the game kicks off on the app. Link in the video description to download it. And as I said, free to play, must be over 18, and it's a £1,000 cash prize pot for the game tonight. So give it a play. You've got the time to do it. Let's see if we can get Flex on, get his thoughts on the team as well. I'm sure he'll have a few observations, as I'm sure all of you have. I mean, team news is always a big event for Manchester United. Flex, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? He'll be here in a minute. Realistic striker targets for United, I would really look at Luka Jovic, says Sakin. Ollie plays Lindelof because he's better on the ball and when playing out from the back takes up the centre of the pitch. Watch tonight, says Daniel Harding. Yeah, but Daniel, he's also slow, not very strong on crosses and makes us play deeper. So, do I value a centre-back who brings the ball out from the back, or do I value a centre-back that can defend and make us play higher up the pitch? Do you think moving Rashford closer to Martial would be better? It'd be more easy to enable him to create those match-winning moments, says Callum Robinson. Yeah, but you need your width. Roger and Scotty from Diana say hi to George and Ash in Beckingham. Go United, says Roger Watson. Nice shout out for you there. And Mark, looking at the bench apart from Greenwood makes me slightly nervous, says Tomo. Well, remember we have got 4 players out injured that you could argue are very much first teamers. Certainly Pogba, Cavani, McTominay, Van der Beek. They're all attacking players, aren't they? Flex, can you hear me? Hello? No, I don't know what's going on here. I can see him, but I can't hear him. And he's not actually talking at the moment, so I will just keep on with that. Okay, and the lineup is set up to draw as it seems, says Big Dick. We're not playing against Newcastle setting up to get a draw, are we? That's definitely not what's going to happen. So, yeah, we're not setting up against them to do that. We're setting up to win this game. He's just rewarded Dan James with a win. And yeah, 1 minute. Right, we can't get Flex on at the moment. It's no problem. I'll just keep chatting to you lot. I've done it for the last hour. Why is Dan James playing on the right wing? Says Jeffrey is cool. And do you think United can beat Chelsea, says Neymar? Couldn't give a toss at the moment because we're playing Newcastle and the Chelsea game becomes a lot easier if we win tonight. Ligma says, love you from Ken. I don't read second names, Ligma, so I know what you've tried to do there. Thoughts on Shola Shoriteri being on the bench, says Kyle. Well, I think it's good. I think it's a good thing because I think that we've got a lot of injuries. So to put a young player on who's a creative player is always a good thing. I absolutely do not think he will get on the pitch because I think that when you look at the fact that Mata's on the bench, Greenwood's on the bench, Diallo's on the bench, I don't see how he will use Shola. But it's good for him to be on the bench, I suppose. You hope he stays on the bench. But obviously, I think when people get back from injury, he'll be off the bench without ever playing a minute. But, it'd be good for him to be there. But I can't see how... He won't get used, will he? He's just there to make up the numbers, if I'm absolutely honest. But it's good experience for him. Shora Tire is the name. Do you think that Ollie will sack himself if he keeps playing Magaluf, says Dom. I don't think he's got any excuses if they do cost us any goals over the next few weeks. Do you think Rashford striker, Martial left wing is better, says Kartik? No, I don't like Rashford as a striker. And I don't really like Martial as a left winger anymore. I think he wants to play up front. Surely this is a game for Diallo or Show Retire. They can operate in tight spaces, which would work against the compact and deep Newcastle defence, says Vikster. And okay, I'm still out of town till next week, says Brendan. Okay. Respect for what you do, Mark. We support you for everything, says KSE. Thank you very much there. And it's not Shortire, Patrick. That is not how you pronounce his name. And I love this team today. Fred and Matic is a perfect combo of tenacity and control of the midfield. Thoughts, Mark? I don't know whether that's a joke, and I don't know. But no, I don't love that midfield, to be honest with you. I think I support it because we've got no other option, but I don't love it. It's there's no goals from Fred and Matic. Doesn't mean they can't score, but they're not obvious goal scorers, are they? Joseph Keenan, thanks for the super chat there. And if Ollie isn't playing Bay, how do you know he would play someone like Konate? It makes you think, says Zaid MUFC. It does. It does make you think. And well, I know why I can't hear Flex, because he's got his microphone muted. So that's why that's not working. Mark, would you swap Rashford for Keane? Says England Fans TV. No. And a lot of people are arguing about how you pronounce Show Retire. Draughty, can you hear me? No, I think he's got a problem as well. Might be a problem with Discord. Here. I'm going to give it one last chance. I can hear them coming in, but I can't hear them coming in audio wise. Hello? Hello? I don't know what's going on with that. 40 million for Konate and a bad injury record. Why not give Twansebi a run in the team instead of focusing on bringing in Koundé? Well, I would bring Koundé in, Tristan. I think he's too good. I think he's too good not to bring in. And dropping De Gea for Henderson is like dropping Shaw for Williams, says Jacob. I wouldn't go that far. I just don't think it's the time to drop De Gea. Prime Bruno or Prime Alexi, says Stan. Well, it's Bruno. Mark, please search. No. King Joseph, I'm not. And Alexi, play Hello by Adele. What was that, Vibnish? Alexa, play Hello by Adele. Trying going on to a different call, says Hassan. And can I get a shout out, says Raheem. And St. Maximin versus Lindelof. Now that's scary, says Sahul. And I'd love to see Martial and Ahmad link up. Thoughts, Mark, says Matteo. I think we're going to have to be patient with Ahmad. I mean, there's not one part of me tonight that thinks, let's start Ahmad Diallo. I don't know whether people are at that. My only problem with that team there is that Maguire and Lindelof, how many more mistakes do we let them make before we drop them? Well, it just seems it just seems that's the problem. And also, I would never start Dan James ahead of Mason Greenwood. I just would never do that. So that's my only issue with the team. When it comes to Amad Diallo, I'm a big fan of Amad Diallo, but I'm like, for me, Amad Diallo needs to start the Real Sociedad game. That's the one I want to see him starting, because there's less pressure. We've got a 4-0 lead, and you know he can play in that game. I don't want Amad Diallo to start tonight. I don't even necessarily, and this might be a bit controversial, I don't necessarily think, ooh, you know what, Ahmed should be starting ahead of Dan James. I don't think that. The referee is Kevin Friend today, says Ben Stewart. Oh my God. This is turning into a bloody FIFA nightmare. Got Victor Lindelof at the back with Maguire. We've got Dan James starting instead of Greenwood. And we've got Kevin Friend as the bloody referee. Ben says Nigerian name pronounced Shotire. Well, you forgot the re in it. It's show re tire. That's what I've been told it is. But he needs to come out and tell us what it is himself. And it's not actually Kevin Friend as the referee. Greetings from Colombia, says Louis Stephen Guy. Let us know where you're watching from, actually. Paul Tierney's the ref, says Red Devil MUFC, and quite a few people are saying that now. At least it's not Burnley, says Samantha. Can you say hello to my friend? Oh, God. I tell you what, we've got some idiots in the live comments today, so apologies for that. We have got a few idiots in here. Greenwood instead of Martial, says BRB. I actually think he's got it right with the forward. I think that in a game like this, Mason Greenwood's not necessarily a centre forward, is he? At the moment, not in a, you know, I don't think Greenwood's shown enough yet to be pushing Cavani and Martial for the number 9 shirt. So I agree with the Martial selection, and I agree with the well, I do agree with that. Elimination Chamber on WWE tonight. Anyone who's interested in that, just seen an advert. No, for me, Mason Greenwood should have been playing off the right wing. That's where he should have been playing. Only person who's happy with this lineup is Ricky. By the way, my Alexa started playing Hello by Adele. Back of the net. That's what I want to hear. Shaveen, that's what I wanted to hear. Alexa, play Hazard by Richard Marx. That's for you. And WWE Bridge. Mark, if you had the chance to switch Greenwood for Haaland right now, take it or leave it, says Shimmick. No. I'm an idiot. People will say I'm an idiot, but no, I'm very loyal to players that I think stand for what United is. And I think Mason Greenwood is what Manchester United's all about. You know, we've got the biggest record in football for having a youth player in our matchday squad. It goes back to the 1930s. Promoting and giving youth a chance is exactly what Manchester United's all about. And I believe that Mason Greenwood can be anything he wants to be. So why would I give up Mason Greenwood for Erling Haaland just because Erling Haaland looks like being one of the best strikers in the world, when Mason Greenwood could become one of the best players in the world and is part of our youth setup and a Manchester lad? No, I wouldn't give it up. If you mentioned another player, I might do it, but not Mason Greenwood. Bruce says that Dan James could bring in more crosses from the right. So look, Dan James is starting this game. Nothing's going to stop that now. But let's look at the positives. Dan James is going to start this game. So what do we need to do in this game today? Well, the big thing is this guy, Bruno Fernandes. We've got to get him on the ball. And the job of getting Bruno Fernandes on the ball is going to fall probably more to this guy here, Nemanja Matic, than it is to Fred. Got to get quick ball into Bruno. And what Bruno's going to need is Martial massively for little interchanges. Dan James has been quoted by Solskjaer as having a great game against Sociedad because he kept the shape of the team. So Dan James is going to have to keep the shape of the team, which means keeping on the right-hand side. And what Dan James is going to have to do is going to get the ball here. He's going to have to put good crosses in. Because we know the left-hand side with Luke Shaw we've been doing really well. Wan-Bissaka not so much, not so consistently. So Dan James' job today is to... He's up against a good player in Jamal Lewis as well, is to get crosses into that box. But you say get crosses into the box. Is Martial the best person to get on the end of crosses? I don't actually think... I mean, I'm trying to stay positive here, but like if it was Cavani, I'd be telling Dan James to get to the byline and whip crosses into the box. With Martial, I don't know that crosses into the box is the big thing. So creativity, you know, Martial likes to play give and goes. Bruno likes somebody who'll play football with him. Is that what Dan James... Look, I'm actually being like Dan James. Look how fast he is. You know, Dan James is going to have to probably play a bit of football today. He's not going to get in behind Newcastle that often. So it's going to be interesting how we use him. Mrs. Shurak loves you, yabba dabba doo. If you know, you know. Can you call my dog Sniffy a prat? She just hates an onion, says IKEA Shurak Supports Club. Thanks for the super chat, mate. Hi, Mark. I saw your video about possibly leaving United Stand, and I had a question. Would United Stand carry on if you left? I asked before, but you missed the chat, says Angel and Sol. I would like, however long I do the United Stand for, I would love the United Stand to continue beyond. I think it's its own entity, so I would love that to happen, yeah. Maguire and Lindelof should be partnered each with Bay in cup games and league games, if only he was fit enough, says Ramis. And can you please give a shout out to Frankie Mulvey from Dublin, says Amber. I'll always shout out for people from Dublin because I love Dublin. But let me see if I can just get you a few more quotes from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. He normally does talk before the game. In fact, he's talking right now. What are you doing? If you get the subtitles on, we'll get him. He's just been talking about Van der Beek and Cavani. He says you can't play them too early, maybe later in the week. And he's talking about Dan James. He says he played really well in the game against Sociedad. He gave us the energy, the drive, and Dan has worked really hard. We felt it's right to continue with him. The straight swap with McTominay and Matic, of course, we know about. So yeah, we pretty much know these things. We pretty much know these things already. After recent poor performances, do you think that AFA should look at using ex-players to referee, says JT? I don't know whether ex-players want to be a referee. It depends how much they get paid. You know, these ex-players, they want the peas, don't they? They want the big money. And I'm not sure that they'd be happy to run around and play second fiddle to these players who are making a lot of money themselves. Mark, Dan James is chosen for his tracking back for maximum, not rewarded for his goals. That's an interesting point, Arito. You know, how much is picking Dan James about being defensive as well? Marcus Rashford on the cover of Time magazine, next 100 most influential people, says Peter Lido. Yeah, but Marcus Rashford is on the cover of that as an influential person because of the amazing work he's done off the pitch. He's not. I don't think Marcus Rashford himself would even accept that he is one of the 10 best players in the world at the moment. He's not. I don't think he is anyway. So Marcus Rashford is getting all the plaudits correctly because of what he's doing off the pitch, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm sure he would like to be getting those plaudits for what he does on the pitch as well. And that's the challenge to him, isn't it? To do both. Peter Lido says, Mark, yeah, I've done that one. Mark Roy Keane wants to come on the show. No, he doesn't. Adil. And Dan James will get his free kicks and penalties to John Barr. And thoughts on Lingard, Mark, done it better. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. We're 10 minutes out from kickoff. And who would win? Okay. Can anyone explain why Lindelof is playing, says Prince? Because Ollie rates Lindelof more than he rates Eric Bailly. We might not like it, but if I was Steve Bruce, you're always going to be worried about coming to Old Trafford. But if I was Steve Bruce, I would be like, well, I think they've made a mistake with Dan James. That's an opportunity. I think Lindelof and Maguire are always a team that you can get at as well. So, you know, let's go out there and give it a go. And Bet Davis makes a very good point. This points to a weakness of Ollie, playing James because he played well and not because of tactical needs we need to be using today. Don't like Fred, he's a crab, says John Farris. And Bay's minutes has been to be managed carefully due to how injury prone he is, says Nazar. And Mark, where is Ollie getting interviewed, says Jaden? It was just on BT Sports there. Watching Manchester City is educational, says Red Baron. Watching them seems like watching a team work through the lines instead of depending on individual pieces. Oh, they're an absolutely brilliant system. Maybe it's about keeping Bay fit. I hope Ollie knows it better than us, says Rimis. Well, look, you know, you're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You should always look at both sides of a story. Always in life, there's always two sides to a story, and you should always look at it. Because if you focus on yourself, then that's blinkered. And you know, maybe there is an element of Ollie that he's like, I can't play Eric Bailly because he played on Thursday and he's got an injury problem. But the evidence is also there that when it comes to Eric Bailly, he has consistently been dropped for Victor Lindelof over the last 18 months. So yeah, you know, maybe there would be an opportunity for Ollie to say, I can't play Eric because he played on Thursday. That would be nice if that was the reason. But I think we all know that the evidence shows that he prefers Bailly and Lindelof, because the reality is these games haven't crept up on us. Newcastle was always a more important game than Sociedad. And why not play Lindelof against Sociedad, 4 days rest, he'd be fine with that and play Bay today. Because today's the more important game and he wants to play Lindelof and Maguire. And I think I just put it on Twitter or I said it on here. If you can't drop Victor Lindelof after that performance against West Brom, you're never going to drop him. Because it was awful. And yet here he is 7 days later. And I'll tell you what, if Lindelof was De Gea last week, or Lindelof was Martial last week, or Rashford last week, they would be absolutely slaughtered. Lindelof just doesn't get the sort of scrutiny from the media or the manager that other players do. He gets away with it. And you know, you can definitely throw Maguire into that. But the only reason I go on Lindelof is because we've seen Maguire play with him. And that is... Maguire's played with Bay and we've seen that work. Bay plays very well and gets dropped. James plays good and gets to start the next game. Please make it sense, says Adwell. Well, I'm actually going to copy and paste that and tweet it, and we'll all know that I've copied and pasted it. But let's see how that gets received, because I think that's an experiment in a very good comment there. I hope the grand idea is not to sit back with Harry and Lindy and use James on the counter. That would be a disaster class. We can't be doing that, Shrignash. Do you think Nicky will be able to sub whenever he wants, or is he following strict directions from Ollie? Says Etienne. I don't know what you're talking about. I think Ollie's still on the bench tonight. It's just some first team coaches aren't. I know Nicky Butt's part of the team tonight, but I don't think it's... I think Ollie's still there. Am I the only one who really doesn't care about the Europa League? We have a fight for top four, says Ethan Perry. I do care more about the Europa League than I did. I do care about the Europa League now because, you know, a good win. If we can get people back from injury, we could do both. But I still think that the top four has to be the priority. Yeah, I do agree with that. And yes, I do agree with that. We have no centre midfield on the bench since injuries. It's not good, says Kartik. We've been a little bit unlucky with the injuries, to be honest with you. We have been a bit unlucky with the midfield injuries. I do think that maybe Van der Beek would have played today ahead of Matic. But Flex will be on at half-time. We finally fixed it out, but we're 8 minutes away from kickoff, so there's absolutely no point just getting him on now. So we'll get Flex on at half-time. Don't worry about that. And Lindelof's not good enough. Bay's fragile. Twansebi diddy-dum. Axel, what's going on? Says Xander Ed there. And am I the only one who... I've done that one. And hi, Mark. Can you call my roommate Sharia a prat? Says Cena. Consider it done. Just did it. Paul Scholes basically just said word for word what you've been saying about bubble wrapping centre-backs. I genuinely think it came from you. Maybe via his son, says Ash G. And Mark, thanks for keeping our spirits up in these rubbish times. Love you, big man, says Flizzy. Boy. Well, no, I mean, look, I don't take any credit for what Scholes says because sometimes what I say comes from what you say. The United Stand is a fantastically intelligent community and, you know, it's not about I told you so, but we have been talking about the centre-back pairing being Bubble Wrap FC for 6 months. So if it's hitting the mainstream media now, great. We don't need a shout-out for it. We know. We talk about it on here for months and months and months. I think, to be honest with you, Paul Scholes just said on BT, calling out Maguire and particularly Lindelof as United's biggest problem, says Kevin Shields, spot on. And Mark, for those who want Ollie to stay, winning the Europa League would be a big deal. It would give him a trophy and regardless of top four, get Champions League, says Brad Lewis. Van der Beek and Bay got dropped after good performances, but James gets picked. Where is the consistency? Loyalty some more than others, says Gerard. Spot on. Spot on. A lot of people are saying that as well. Please smash a like on the video, by the way. We're nearly at 5,000 likes. And please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We're nearly at 990,000. But, you know, just on Paul Scholes there, I mean, look, maybe he watches the United Stand. I don't think he necessarily does. I'll tell you what he does know, though. He knows football. And Paul Scholes will know that centre-back pairing is a problem. Why he's not said it till now, I don't know. Paul Scholes, you know, good relationship with Ollie, bit like Gary Neville. Does he want to be calling out? You're basically saying the manager's getting it wrong, aren't you? You know, you talk about the centre-back pairing and you go Lindelof and Maguire are United's biggest problem. But then you've got two other centre-backs on the bench that might make us better. So whilst you're calling out Maguire and Lindelof, you're really calling out the manager. I know that. I know that when I say it. When I say Maguire and Lindelof are a bloody joke, I also know who's picking them. So you know, maybe that's why Scholes hasn't mentioned it before. And maybe that's why it's getting mentioned more and more now, because it's so bloody obvious that as an analyst, you've got to mention it. But maybe they don't want to mention it because they don't want to call out the manager, because, you know, they don't want to do that. And I respect that. So I think they're fully aware of what the problems are at United. And it's good that it's hitting the mainstream media, because I think some people don't necessarily watch football in that way, and they maybe don't listen to shows like this, and they maybe just tune in for a match and then they hear Scholes say that and they go, ping, that is the problem, because it is the problem. And also I think that the big thing as well is that, you know, Ollie is making a stubborn decision, and it's a brave decision, but it's a stubborn decision as well. He is picking Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire as his starting pairing. But the great thing now is most fans, most media, most ex-players don't agree with it. So Ollie's making a brave decision by doing it. And he will know, because managers do know, that people don't agree with what he's doing. So it's a risk, isn't it? He's got to get it right. And I like it when a manager takes a risk like that, you know, not a lot of people agree with, because if they get it right, it shows they know better than us. And obviously if they get it wrong, they know that everyone's going to scrutinise it. So it's a win-win situation for us, really. But we should be all right tonight, but no way in a million years. Lee Grant is the goalkeeping coach, bloody hell, says Rich William. No way in a million years am I going to say that we're going to win tonight. I think we're going to win 2-0. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't what I've just said. I think we will win 2-0, but anything is possible with this United side, as we know. Joshua Bowerwater, thanks for the super chat. He says, I understand if you can't name names, but has any current United players reached out to you or Flex acknowledging they watch the channel? Numerous. And I won't name names because that's just not, that's not my style to do that. I know some people brag about such and such and, oh, he's going to send me a shirt and this, that and the other. But I don't do that because these players deserve their privacy and I wouldn't do that. So, but yeah, there's numerous players that know who I am and know who you are and know who the United stand are. Lindelof and Maguire are like our previous, and I'm very proud of that. You know, I'm not going to pretend that I'm not very proud of that, because that means that the voice, whether they agree with the voice or not, I'm not saying they like it, but the fact that that voice is getting heard makes me very proud, because when we started this channel, it was about real fan opinion from the fans, and we've always been real and we've always been honest. And like I said there, 6 months we've been talking about bubble wrap FC at the centre back position, and now it's hitting the mainstream media. And that's because it's not because they've watched our show and they realise it. They realise it, they just don't dare say it. We've been saying it for a very long time, and I'm proud of that. So I think a lot of people know that when they watch the United stand and they read the live comments, they're going to get real opinion. Not always correct opinion, but they're going to get real reaction. So I'm very proud of you. So please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Let's see if we can hit 990 tonight. Lindelof and Maguire are like our previous Brazilian twin brothers, Rafael and Fabio. Together like glue. Those brothers have come and gone, though, says Etienne. Man United win tonight, says Ivan. We've got to win tonight. That's the main thing. I'm going for a 19-0 win with Maguire and Lindelof hat-tricks. I'll have some of that cake, Jaden. And I really like Ollie, but he needs to adapt to the era of Woodward. Focus on youth development because we're not getting any quality players. Maybe that's what he is doing, Ethan. Our chances of winning with Bay is 80%. Our chances with Lindelof is 50%, says Bradley. And our head of player development and head of coaching are going to talk live now. Maybe you'd want to listen and pick up some nuggets, says Manish. Where are they talking? Manish, I don't know what I can't see anybody talking. But no, just to go back on that, I expect Manchester United to win this game. I really do expect us to win this game. But what I will say is that I think when you pick Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire, you definitely give, and it's been proven this season, and hopefully it won't happen tonight, but when you play Lindelof and Maguire, you give the opposition a chance to beat you. And that's a fact. Doesn't mean we'll lose. Imagine St Maximin one-on-one against Lindelof, says Jake Howard. Well, I don't know how quick Linton is, to be honest. Is Linton quick or slow? Hopefully he's slow. But that guy there, Anthony Martial, he needs to have a big game tonight. Oh, yes, he does. Right, let's fasten our seatbelts and go. Taking some notes down for my match reaction. So, we're out to kick off. And it's up and running. Always my favourite time of the week. Manchester United kicking off. Mark, let's hope the Longstaff brothers don't make their once-a-year cameo. There's only one on the bench, Brad Lewis. There's only one on the bench. Mark, you should be in charge of United's transfers because you're getting KG involved with the United stand was a masterpiece for transfers, says Ryan. And Newcastle playing a 4-4-2 diamonds and some Maximin and Joe Linton up front. That midfield worries me, though, going to be combative, says KA. As I said, I think if you're Steve Bruce, you look at that Man United side and you do think, ooh, you know what? There's a bit of encouragement there. Sorry, I just put the timer on the screen. So early watchers of Manchester United, and Maguire goes through 2 tackles there like a tank. We've actually, just very quickly, we're 60 subscribers away from 990,000, which is quite a big number to hit, considering we'd then be 10,000 off a million. So please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We're only 50 away from 990. Thanks, everyone. I'm sadder when we lose than I'm happy when we win, says Judd Gerchin. Come on, United, love the content, Mark, says Taryn. Thanks for the super chats there. And Luke Shaw's got it on the left-hand side here. Matic needs to get gone. My granddad could play better in CDM, says Jaden. Well, let's get behind the players now. It's kick-off now. The team is what it is. Let's see how we get on. You know, there are weaknesses because of injuries, to be fair, and there are, you know, potential weaknesses because of the team that's been picked. And I don't know what Rashford was doing there. It was a good bit of skill, and then he should have just kept it in, but it's gone out. Early days. Flex will be on at half time, Joe. We had a bit of a problem with the old what's it called? This scored, but we fixed it now. No Scooby-Doo today. No Scooby-Doo. No Scooby-Doo. There's no Scooby-Doo today. Maguire just lost the header there, but at least he went for it. Ball down the line. Almiron up against Lindelof. Oh, God. We got to be careful, United, there. Newcastle were in the box. I tell you what, I do like this about United. Oh, he's just kicked it out. I was going to say, we don't panic under pressure there. Luke Shaw and Marcus Rashford right in their own corner, passing it about. We've done that a few times, but I don't know what happened here with Linton. He looked like he was going to pull a shot off, and just a little bit of a nudge from Matic and he went down. It's never going to be a penalty. But welcome to the Members Club, Paul McMillan. You can do that and get a badge next to your name. Thanks for joining. Never a penalty, Frankie, but it's a long throw in into the box, and that's a goal kick. He's given a bloody corner. I'm sure that went off. So early corner for Newcastle here. Let's not concede a goal like we did against West Brom. But Linton will... I mean, Joe Linton's not a very good player. Clip that. He'll probably score a bloody hat-trick tonight, but he's not a very good player. But he might be the sort of player that causes United problems, considering what the West Brom player did to Lindelof last week. So... corners, zonal marking again. Almiron on it. No, they've gone for a short corner, which is quite interesting. Shelvey's going to whip this towards the back post, and he slipped as well. It's right under De Gea. Punches it away. Surely that's a foul on De Gea. Why is that not a foul on De Gea there? Like... seems like we intend to pushing forward than the wings, says Niall. How's this not a foul on De Gea? Here, look. Pushes it away, and he's fouled on the line. There's a player on the line tripping De Gea up. Makes a good save afterwards. But the referee should give the foul on De Gea there. There's a player on the line who trips him up. Shelvey with the corner. I can't believe that wasn't a foul. If that had been a goal, they would have given a foul from VAR, 100%. Oh, look how fast Dan James is there. Sonic the Hedgehog. Look at him. He's sprinting everywhere. He is fast, Dan James. I've got to say that. Very, very fast. So a bit of a slow start from United. Apart from Dan James, who's just fast. Mohamed says he is fast. I'll tell you what, this chair's been a real game changer for me. Just being able to just rock on it. The hair, I mean, a bit shaky at the back. Shaky start at the back here. Mark, I'm not going to shout out that, George. You keep trying. I'm not stupid, but what the bloody hell are we doing here? We've done nothing going forward yet. That one run from Rashford in the first 5 minutes. But Newcastle really... I tell you what, though. Europa League, Thursday night. Newcastle, energy. They've got it spot on this first 5 minutes. Interestingly, I watched Leicester play Villa at the weekend, and Maguire's just gone down here because he's been backed into. I think he'll be all right. He's done the old Harry Kane on him there, Linton. The Leicester against Villa this afternoon. Leicester played Thursday night. Villa have had all week off. Leicester in the first half an hour. Well, not even the first half an hour. First 25 minutes, they came out like a train and they got 2-0 up. And then in the second half, they sat back. Obviously, they knew they were going to be tired. Looking at this game, Newcastle have come out like a train, and United are very, very passive here. Need to get on the front foot because we'll tire in the second half. Nice ball by Matic into Martial. Mark, please could you attempt a Harry Redknapp accents as Kane? I can't. When people ask me to do accents, I'm pretty bad at them. Mark, it's Joe Linton, not Joe Linton. I don't know what you're talking about, Henry Shepherd. You're saying exactly the same thing. And Mark, it's Joe Linton, not Joe Linton. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Talk sense, please. Oh, here's Almer on. He's got a run on against Fred. Well, we've got 2v1 here. Well, it's a nice little ball in, and Maguire does well to cover it back. But it's a good start from Newcastle, isn't it? I mean, it's not a terrible start from Manchester United, but it's not a surprising start from Manchester United. Almiron goes down. Hi Mark. His name. Oh right, okay. I know what people are on about. His name is not Linton. His name is Joe Linton. Linton is not his last name. Yeah, I've just realised that. I see you rocking a Secret Lab chair. I remember recommending to do that in Super Chat a couple of weeks ago. The backrest is a game changer, says Green Grits. Thank you very much, mate. And relax. Frankie goes to Hollywood. Relax. It's not a good start by United though, but it's not the end of the world at the moment. But we are 10 minutes in and we've done sod all. Mark, a moose would beat you in a fight, says Fred Raymond. Really, really. Thank you for that. Groundbreaking news. Wan-Bissaka. Please can you call my boyfriend Michael a Pratt, says Stephen Ward. Oh, fucking hell, De Gea. Puts his hands up there. Terrible pass out. What is it with keepers and passing out at the moment? I don't even know what he was attempting to do there. Got away with it. Look how deep Bruno has come. This is why United will struggle till we have proper midfield. I feel bad for our forwards. Well, we spoke about that before the game, didn't we? Will Bruno get quick ball? Or will it be slow? Do you think feud between Maguire and teammates will escalate, says Hadrian Wong. I didn't know there was a feud. And yeah, goalkeeper's kickouts from the back are terrible at the moment. That's a bad kick from De Gea. I've seen Alisson doing it badly recently. Schmeichel a couple of times today for Leicester as well. I don't know what... there is a new ball, isn't there? I think there is a new ball. Because goalkeepers at the moment, their kicking seems to be pretty shit. But, yeah, United aren't... We've got a free kick here. Mark, I predict a painful 1-0 with Diallo Worldy to win it, says Brad Lewis. That'll do me. That will do me fine. Free kick there. Leicester. Newcastle very physical here in the first 10 minutes. Can someone explain to me why Ollie persists with these centre-backs? We as fans see this game in, game out. Can't Ollie and his staff not see it? Of course they can. Of course they can. Apparently Scholes was talking about it just before the game on BT Sports. So it's not just fan content that's talking about it now. It's mainstream media content. He will be fully aware. I mean, we've had a shaky start here. Like, you know, I'm half expecting... Mark, you need a tin of WD-40 for that door, mate, says the fisherman. What door? Good catch by the keeper there. So 11 minutes gone. United the home team, and we've created nothing. Not that they have. Going to give a foul kick there on Dan James. Similar free kick to the area we just got it with Bruno. And Ollie's going to Solskjaer's obsession with Fred, Lindelof and Martial. De Gea losing it. Matic too slow. Clear out in the summer, says Paul Innes. We've got a bit of possession in the attacking third here, but Bruno gives it away. I think I said this before the game. We're going to be so reliant on Bruno in this game for creativity. Playing like we're nervous and scared. So frustrating, says Xander. And with the likes of Alaba and Ramos potentially available in the summer, would either take Maguire to the next level, says David Canelli. And which can you see first? City getting 10 Premier League titles or us getting 21, says Michael Fetty. How many times have City won it? That's the thing. But I feared this would happen. It's totally reliant on Bruno at the moment. Mark, is it just ESPN rubbish, the story about Valverde Pogba swap? If it is real, how do you feel about that? I've not heard anything credible about a Valverde Pogba swap, Brad, to be honest with you. Don't forget, Ollie watches Bay every day in training and can only imagine the amount of mistakes he makes day in, day out. He is hell, says Sean Negative Turner. What do you think about that, people? Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, we're really close to 990,000, and then we'll be on the final countdown to 1 million. 990,000, bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Get involved. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got a morning show at 10 a.m. every day. Lots of other content, live and interactive for you. I think tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, it's normally the Sunday night show. We have Kev and Beth and Ricky on. We've not done it for a couple of weeks, so it's going to be on Monday night, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I can imagine what it's like in Ricky's house. I nearly said something else there. That would be very rude. What it's like in Ricky's house now. He's got Matic on the pitch. He's got Martial on the pitch. And he's got Dan James on the pitch. Now, normally he records the game and watches it back 3 or 4 times. I'd say he's so happy he's probably just got a camera on him, smiling to watch back for 90 minutes. He'll be loving it. A bit late there by Luke Shaw, but I don't think he's going to get booked for it. Ooh, ref, what the hell? Says Stevie Bruce. We miss McTominay more than people want to realise, says Ivan. Yeah, no, I'm not going to deny that. I mean, I just don't think Matic is very good anymore, is he? So I'm not going to deny that, but you know, I don't think McTominay changes this performance into we're 3-0 up after 15 minutes. I think this game is heading down the route where we don't want it to route already, which is, you know, I said in a game like this, you want to score early because you're playing up against the low block. We're not playing a low block. The thing is, we're not even playing well enough for Newcastle to play a low block. They're actually playing way better than they did against Chelsea, and we're allowing that to happen. Looks like another game. Maguire making you miss the Chuckle Brothers, says Let's Math. I'm not reading that. Cross comes in. Ooh, well caught by De Gea. I thought Maguire was going to bloody head it in his own goal. Looks like another game where individual brilliance will pull us out of the dumps, says Sharath Kamath Fitness. Well, here's Dan James on the right-hand side. Why is he not attacking the space in behind there? Oh, he's ignored him, Bruno. Get him the ball. Is it not ironic that Lingard would be handy today, says Brad Lewis. We literally have no system, no patterns of play. Shaw and Rashi left-hand side. Martial looks disinterested. Fred bitten poor, says Pooley 247. That's another shit pass by Matic. Well, at the moment, we're not even winning the midfield battle. Give us a Ricky impression, says Ozzy Montana. I've popped over on United Stan Love, and they're all going mad playing. We're playing rubbish. This is the best we played all season. I'm telling you now, Fleck. I'm writing notes. This is the best we played all season. We might be 2-0 down to Newcastle, but I tell you what, it's the best we played all season. The shape is brilliant. It's just bad luck. But no, it's not been a very good start. Right, run, Dan, run. Go on into the space. Well, if Dan James is keeping the shape, why is he not on the fucking right wing? What's this nonsense about, oh, he helped us keep the shape? Look at where he is now. He's playing as a secondary left winger. Like, get on the wing. Where's the bloody shape when there's nobody on the bloody right wing? It's this nonsense that really annoys me. Oh, we're picking Dan James because he kept his shape really well. He's playing as a bloody number 10 now. Get on the bloody right wing. It's these lies that we get told about why people are being picked. Well, I'm picking Dan ahead of Mason because Dan holds his shape. He's still not back on the right wing. We've got no right winger at the moment. And now Jamal Lewis has got Akers. See what I mean? Bruno's come across. Well, I tell you what, David De Gea must have touched this ball 10 times more than their goalkeeper, which is not good, is it? Right, he's over on the right wing now. And he put a cross in there. It's a crap cross, really. I can't believe we've had 20 minutes. I mean, what is that? You know, that cross from Dan James there, what is that? It's to nobody. Somebody just said it was a great cross. That was a good cross. There's nobody in the bloody 6-yard box. He just crossed it to the front post. There's nobody there. It's a blind man's cross. What are you talking about? It's a good cross. Do you know what a good cross is? Getting your eyes open, looking at where red shirts are and trying to put it towards them. Whacking it into the front post and the keeper spilling it is not a good cross. I know it's I know it's an unpopular opinion, but what can't Ahmed do that our shape provider can do? So, no, I wouldn't have started Sharath. I must be honest, I wouldn't have started Dan James today. I would have started Greenwood. We've gone back to De Gea 9 times already. Bruno telling Martial to run to the ball 3 times. Are we really the top 4 side in this game? At the moment, Gabriel Noel, if you dropped an alien in who hadn't watched football for 10 years... no, let's not be extraterrestrial. If you woke somebody up from a coma who was a massive football fan and told them to watch this game, but they didn't know anything about league position, they would say mid-table clubs. They would not believe you that Newcastle are relegation candidates and United are second in the league. It's not been that sort of a 20 minutes at all. Doesn't mean we're not going to win, but I'm just saying the first 20 minutes hasn't been great. Here's Rashford. Oh, into the box. That's what we need to do. We need to get Rashford on the bloody ball. Use Luke Shaw a bit. Get good players on the ball and good things will happen. It's not rocket science. See, this is where the problems start. You give the ball to Fred and Matic and it's like watching a crab. It just goes side to side. I mean, what's Matic doing there? It's like trying to bulldoze his way through. Mark, do you think Ollie could train Dan James like a sheepdog with whistles for directions, says Matthew Gartell? And let's be honest, only Bruno, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka and Rashford are United standard players in this team. The rest are crap and it shows, says Sean Negative Turner. And Ollie has to respond tactically. The diamond from Newcastle is dominating us in the middle. That's why Dan James can't stay on the wing. He helps the midfield to press. Well, we don't have a great record in responding to tactics in-game, do we? But you do wonder what the coaches at United are thinking in a game like this. Because 21 minutes in, what are you waiting for? You know, what are you waiting to change? The game pattern has been set. And you know, we might win this game, but we might lose this game. So do you just keep thinking, let's keep playing a 50-50 game? Or do you actually try and change it to make yourself get control of the game with the better players you've been gifted? At the moment, we've got the better 11 players, but we are playing an equal game. And that's because Newcastle's tactics are levelling the game out. Football, very, very simple game to analyse. You know, the United team is better than the Newcastle team, yet we're playing a very equal game. Well, why is that? Because tactically, they're playing very, very well compared to us. I would swap my wife for Alphonso Davies down that right wing, says Robert Johnson. Well, here he is, coming down the right wing. Dan James, direct. What is he doing? What is he doing there? Got 3 players in front of him and he shoots. Football intelligence. You know what I'm saying? The title race would still be on if Bailly starts, says Josh Arden. Wan-Bissaka into Martial. Not going to get a free kick for that, Tony. Almiron. He's left Lindelof here. He's left Lindelof here. Lindelof does well to stick with him. Very lucky to stay with him there, Lindelof. I think he gave him a bit of a tug, to be honest. Not that sort of a tug, but I think he did. I've done that one. Here's Luke Shaw coming forward. Tackled by Shelvey. Rashford. Hit it, Bruno. Oh, he was going to hit it. Rashford. Bruno. Lovely ball. Oh, nearly. Little chip into the box for Rashford there. Game starting to stretch a little bit. Dan James is just Gabriel Oberton, says Dan Grayson. See, I thought Almiron was away from Lindelof here. He did really well, Lindelof, actually, to sort of stay with him. And Fred gave him the support. But he's got no pace. This is what we need. We need pace at centre-back. Both of them are proper slow. I don't think Almiron's fast. Joe Linton's down injured here, which will be a big blow for Newcastle and a big boost for us, because they're already missing Callum Wilson. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We're very close to 990,000. We were about 30 away before, so please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And then we're on the countdown 10,000 to 1 million. He's up on his feet. I don't know whether he's coming off here. he's not. He's all right. I'm going to say they have to bring Dwight Gale on. "25 minutes gone. Not really much happening." Well, I said it was brave by Ollie to pick Dan James and pick Lindelof, and there's a long way to go in this game, but I do feel we would have been a better team with Greenwood in it. But it's still very early days, and we have got those players on the bench. 2 CDMs against Newcastle is proper mad, says Ian Webb. And Mark, do you still back your decision over backing Martial rather than signing Haaland? Also, would you cash in on Martial and sign a proper number 9, says Jack Harmon? Let's see where we are in the summer with that. Bruno knows Dan James is useless, which is why he looks everywhere else before passing to him. I wasn't going to say anything about that, the mystery man, but I've noticed that a couple of times, that Dan James has been in space and he doesn't pass him the ball. Here's St Maximum on the left-hand side. Nice little back heel. Lindelof's across there. Well, puts it out. What are your thoughts on Aaron Wan-Bissaka at centre-back? Sam Allen says he's fast, can take and reads the game well. With Maguire's height, I think it would work. I don't think it would work. What's the best? I mean, I don't know whether this is a troll comment because I've answered it so many times, but what's Aaron Wan-Bissaka's best attribute? Slide tackling. Can you ever actually imagine a centre-back slide tackling? Look how young those lads look. Greenwood, Shoritari and Ahmed. They're just lads. They're just teenagers, aren't they? I mean, it's exciting from looking at United's future point of view, but, you know, it's worrying that we're using players. Well, it's not worrying, isn't it? You know, if you're good enough, you're old enough, but you can see how young they are. Dan James will score a screamer if you sing Blinded by the Lights again, says Remy. Ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. I know I can't sleep until I feel your touch. Now, he better bloody score now. I've made myself look a prat for that. I know you don't like hypothetical situations, says Sharath, but do you think United play better football with the same team with Pep or Klopp, forget winning titles? Of course they play better football. Because they'll pick the right players for a start. Almiron shoots. Good hands by De Gea. It's straightforward, but he held on to it well. This is a poor side. Lindelof and Maguire, Fred and Matic, says Mark Wyatt. Yeah, well, the reality is, if you cook yourself a spaghetti bolognese, don't expect to be eating a Sunday dinner. Well, unless you have spaghetti bolognese. No, but what I mean is, if you cook yourself a spaghetti bolognese, when it's cooked, don't expect it to be a chicken curry. And when you see that United side that comes out with Maguire in it and Lindelof in it and Matic and Fred in it, and then United don't create much, should we be surprised? We can hope that they're going to create a lot. Oh, Dan James was in there. I was about to say, oh my God, the lyrics worked, but he didn't get the shot off. SpongeBob lookalike, stop sticking up to should go ahead, because that's what you do. Get a knife. Okay, bye. Of course we're going to block you because you're abusive. Go ahead and block me for being abusive. Of course we're going to bloody block you, you sad prat. I'm having pasta bolognese. I'd love spaghetti bolognese. Is Wan-Bissaka. Shoots from distance. Not really much in it. We approach the half an hour mark. We're not creating anything, says Tony Garner. And Luke Shaw, best player on the pitch for United at the moment, says Daniel Speak. Maybe he doesn't speak for a lot. I'm a little bit worried. I must confess. I thought we'd be 2-0 up, but we're 0-0 instead. They've had more attempts than us, and they've had more shots on target. I wonder. I'd love to know how many times we've passed it sideways or backwards. Ollie just gave Show Retiree the nod, says Robert Johnson. I bet he didn't. DJ is a useful player. He's just not utilised properly. He can come on for the last 20 minutes and use his pace to stretch a tired defence, says Kona Donnan. And I would rather a retired Vidic than Lindelof, says Chucky D. Yeah, I mean, look, we've spoken about this before. You know, there's a reason why Bielsa would like Dan James, and there's a reason why Dan James would be good at certain clubs. But I thought it was great. Good, lovely play by Rashford. He's had him on toast there, but he's caught up with him. He's still in the box, though, on the left-hand side. Rashford, he's going to be greedy! Oh, come on! Come on! That's quality! That's fantastic! That's Marcus Rashford. That's individual brilliance. Absolutely fantastic. He had him on toast. He caught him up. He stood him up and he blasts it into the bottom corner. And out of absolutely nothing, a moment of individual brilliance gets Manchester United ahead. We'll have some of that. We'll have some of that. And whoever that left back is, he better get in a can of beans because he's just been had on toast by Rashford. Not once, but watch this back. Comes back onto his right foot and bang. I mean, keeper probably should save it, but you can't take it off Marcus Rashford. What a goal. What a goal that is by Marcus Rashford. And that's lit the red touch paper there. Out of nothing. Lovely. Lovely goal. Change the score. I can't remember what I was talking about there. I'll come back to it in a minute. Sometimes in these sort of games, you just need a bit of luck. We've won a lot of games this season playing badly. You can't argue about winning when you're playing badly. So we'll have a bit of that. But you know what? I do spend a lot of time defending Solskjaer's tactics. I mean, he's not a PE teacher. No way, not a PE teacher, and he does have tactics. But I would say that's probably one game where this is probably one game where I would sit here and say that's individual brilliance that's got us 1-0 up. It's nothing to do with tactics. We don't deserve to be 1-0 up. We do, but we're 1-0 up because we've got a player like Marcus Rashford there. And I did see somebody saying front post glitch, says SL. I did see some people saying sit down haters. I always stick up for Rashford. You know, a lot of people go in on him. They call him Trashford. They say he's not that good. I just think that he clearly is very good. He's not world class. He's not like Mbappe or Haaland level. He could be, but he's certainly not a bad player. He's a very, very good player. He's one of our best players, and I don't really get the level of criticism. There is room for improvement. Of course there is. He can be a frustrating player at times, but he can also be a wonderful player like that. If he finds consistency, he will become world class. We need a new striker as Cavani is out, says Riley Wright. I mean, look, if we're going down the route of Martial's lazy, then tell me what service he's had in this game. But we're not home and hosed yet, but I'm just glad we've gone 1-0 up because I think this game would have been a bloody nightmare if we went 1-0 down. So, you know, hopefully that can be a bit of a kickstart to start playing better and get the second goal and kill this game. I predicted a 2-0 and I'll be more than happy to take a 2-0. But we might have a little bit more confidence now. I mean, I'm so fed up of Fred going backwards and sideways. I mean, I'm sure Matic is doing it as well. But we do miss somebody. Lovely ball in by Bruno. Cleared. Oh, Shelby's just sent Matic back to Serbia, but Matic gets a touch in. Oh, well nicked in there. Watch out. Oh, well done, Wan-Bissaka. And Abderram says, that's why you keep Rashford for 90 minutes. He's got that magic moment. I've said this so many times. You're absolutely spot on. That's why he doesn't like to sub Rashford, because you could have that moment. He could have a crap game and he could do that. He has got those moments in it. I mean, remember Wolves at Old Trafford just after Christmas, 0-0. Rashford had a really bad game and then he wins the game with the last kick. So, oh, lovely reverse pass by Joe Linton. He's got time here. Who's going to the bloody ball, Harry? Good block there by Fred. Rashford looks like he's getting back to playing on the edge. His confidence is getting much better. So 6-7-8-2. I think with Marcus Rashford, when he overthinks it, he becomes a bit inconsistent. Just play on the edge. If you want to shoot, shoot. Would you swap Martial and Pogba for Ronaldo and Dybala in the summer? Says Paul, not nice. Nah. Corner here to Newcastle. Service or not, Cavani puts far more effort into his average Joe. Well, there's no service average Joe, that's what I would say. Shelvey with a deep cross here. Martial heads it away. Here's St. Maximum. Oh, good save, De Gea. I thought that was going in. I don't think it was a world-class save, but it's a good save. St. Maximum on the edge of the box. Showing some quality here. Cuts past Wan-Bissaka. Good shot. Yeah. You're going to save that as a keeper, but yeah, it's a straightforward save for De Gea, that is. Tips it over the bar for a corner. High mark. We've got, wait a minute, got a cross coming in here for Newcastle. That's a dangerous looking cross. Well cleared by Maguire. St. Maximum. 1-1. 1-1. He's dancing on the back. Pick the pips out of this one. I don't know. I don't know what's gone on here, but it is 1-1. Well, I've got to see this back. It's another not. Ollie spoke about this week. Maguire heads it away. It's hard to put any. Maguire heads it away. Well, it's just an. It's such a shit goal to concede, but I just can't. It's hard to go, oh, it's you. I mean, Harry Maguire, I don't really blame Harry Maguire, but who's marking St. Maximum there? He's got a free shot on goal. I mean, you can't blame the keeper because he's hit it hard and it's into the top corner. I mean, David De Gea gets a hand on it. It's not on the keeper. I don't blame Harry Maguire, but who's marking somebody again? It's a good finish by St. Maximum, but like, who's marking him there? Well, you see, we get a let off. We get into the game 1-1 and then that happens. What's Fred getting involved in here? You know what? Instead of pushing people about, why don't you mark people on a bloody cross? Somebody's just said it's De Gea's fault. What are you talking about? Have you seen how well he hits that shot? It's got nothing to do with De Gea. It's just very annoying. I'm not even blaming Maguire on that. I think it's just bad marking on the goal. Wonderful finish by St. Maximum, but someone's got to mark him. I don't blame Maguire. I don't blame Maguire on that. I think as a defender, he's heading the ball. You want him to head the ball. He can't get his forehead on it. He's headed it with the back of his head. Very difficult to head it out for a corner from off the back of your head. So he's got as much on it as he can. But, you know, a player is in our box running towards our goal unopposed. Someone's got to go and get that ball. Someone's got to go and win that header. The shot itself, I think it's a well hit shot, but I'm puzzled as to why Ollie said this in training this week, in his press conference this week. We're not attacking second balls in our box. And somebody should be marking and going for that second ball. You know what it is? It's manners. It's like to you, to me, it's like When Maguire heads that away and that's not going out, my first thought as a red shirt is I'm winning that ball. And that's what needed to happen. And nobody goes and wins it. Two defensive midfielders and no tracing, says Thomas. It bounces on the floor. De Gea should save it, says Sebastian James. I don't think De Gea should save that, to be honest. I really don't. Maguire should have had it out to the corner, says Daniel Cardenan. We will start growing into the game at some point, and Newcastle are pressing quite high up, so we should be able to get some goals, but we're too slow, says Felix. When was the last time we kept a clean sheet against Newcastle, says Jordan Jones. Playground football, Mark, says Flizzy Boy. Wan-Bissaka getting left-footed by Dice and Maximum, says 619 Trading. And Divas says maybe no one's at fault, it's the tactics. Well, I certainly think that we are conceding way too many goals from those scenarios, and I just don't think we pick people up. You think about James Rodriguez against Everton, free shot in the box. You know, St. Maximum, free shot in the box. Who's picking up players and who's reacting to the second ball? Like, you know, if you flip that round the other way, and that's a Newcastle player heading that away, do you think Martial's getting a free shot on goal in their box? Defenders tend to win those because they react quick and they'll put their body on the line and they're marking you. I just think it's just poor defense, poor defensive positional sense again. How on earth are the coaches not telling Fred to stop shooting from outside the box, says Mark Jones. We've got a corner here anyway. Fred was going to shoot then. He ain't going to catch him, is he? Fred couldn't pass a parcel, says Xander. Matic too slow on and off the ball and Fred giving it away for fun. Dan James, Mr. Invisible, we're playing the game with arms tied behind our back, says the mystery man. We don't, you know, the reality is we actually don't deserve anything out of this game at the moment. If this game finished now, we couldn't argue about the fact that 0-0, a draw was what we deserve. Newcastle looked the better side creatively. De Gea should have caught the shot that caused the corner. He's too busy trying to over-egg everything, trying to make it. My God, Russell T, your agenda really comes through. David De Gea should catch a shot that was curling towards the top of the goal at 100 miles an hour. Come on. Mark, the honest truth is neither of the centre-backs nor Fred or Matic are good enough. They are bang average. We will not win anything with any of them, says Brad Lewis. And hi, Mark. We all know that Lindelof and Maguire can't do well together. Is there anything that we can do well together in defence, says Alex Gorham. And we've cornered the market in dodgy zonal marking, says David Gardner. But I go back to what I said. 4 months ago, that defensively we're not good enough. The zonal marking doesn't work, and the zonal marking is not just the ball 1 into the box, it's ball 2 and 3. People think that there is something called a second ball, and we don't mark. We don't know how to mark. If your centre-back, if your defenders on a normal corner are marking space, if they don't... Right, I'll explain this second goal to you, right? Comes from across from a corner, doesn't it? There's a corner very close to what happens there. So on the corner, United are marking zonally. They're not marking people. The cross comes in, Maguire, whatever. The cross comes in again, Maguire flicks it away. They're still zonal marking. So the reason it falls for St. Maximum to bang it in the back of the net is because we're not marking individual players anyway. We're marking space. So when the ball drops or there's a second ball to go for, because they're all marking space, they're like, oh, is that my space? Is that my space? And then in comes St Maximin. If you're marking a player, you're marking a player. And we don't mark the players, we mark the space. Lost faith in Ollie. His tactics are making Newcastle look like title contenders like every bottom team we play, says Ziggy Johnson. Martial marking no one on corners. Body language is terrible and first instinct is too slow. The ball movement or flop. Bench him till his head's right, says Oscar. We can't bench him at the moment. I don't get why Ollie can't play Diallo. If he can play Dan and Mason, he can give Diallo some game time. Eric should have been in this game. Ollie is biased, says Joseph. And thank you. I can't believe people are blaming Fred. He's already marking someone else. Martial lost his man. People are blinded by hate, says Pumpkin Spice Latte. My view, Mark, is Ollie just not ever going to win a title as a manager, or giving him more time does make the next title further away. Huge shame Donny isn't available today. Feel this game could have kick-started his United career. I think there's, amongst all those comments there, and please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner, but amongst all those comments, and Sam Claridge was with the last one, the one that resonates with me the most is that we've played West Brom, Sheffield United, Fulham, and now Newcastle, the bottom 4 clubs in Premier League football, and all 4 of them have given us a game of football against none of those. I know we beat Fulham, but none of those teams have I thought, we're a top side and they're a relegation side. They've all given us a game of football, and at times been better than us. So yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? We can have a look at the goal again, but tactically this has been awful. We're all over the place. We don't look confident at all. We're trying to pass out from the back all the time, and it's just it's causing pressure. I can see us losing this game if he doesn't make changes to this team very, very quickly. I can see us losing this game. We've got 46 minutes gone here. Look, Dan James has been a bloody disaster on that right-hand wing. Not in the sense that he's played dreadful. He's just not done anything. He's just had the ball there. He runs to the edge of the box. He turns round and passes it back to Fred. What? You're a creator, mate. I could do that job. Just run, get the ball and pass it backwards. You're meant to create things. You're not there just on a bloody day experience. Create things. Make things happen. I don't know why Ollie doesn't trust me. I would be first out to that ball, says Eric Bay, official. And is it the performance like this that really make me realise Ollie has to go, says Brad Lewis. Well, he's got a very interesting half an hour. He's got a very interesting half-time chat to have, because he has got to change this, or we are going to lose this game. There's no other way of dressing it up. You've got to change it. But look, as I said, I don't think Dan James has had a terrible half. I don't think Matic has had a terrible half. But you're playing for Manchester United. We're trying to win the game. You're not there on just go out there and give us a 6 out of 10. That's a crap performance from Manchester United. That is half-time. That is absolutely shit. A terrible performance. And it's only because of an individual bit of brilliance from Marcus Rashford that we've got one goal. Newcastle probably deserve their goal because of the amount of possession and corners they've had. They probably deserve their goal based on that. Our goal is just because Rashford did something out of the ordinary. Austin says, watch City earlier. The movement and want for the ball is night and day compared to us. Lack of energy. No one seems to put the work in at the moment. Well, judging by the way we're playing today, I can see us having big problems in 2 weeks against Man City. If Lindelof headed that, you would have ripped him, says Joe. I've got to see it again, Johan. I don't blame Maguire because I think it's difficult when it flicks off the back of their head where you're supposed to head it. But I will watch it again and I will scrutinise everything. I'll even look at De Gea. But I don't think De Gea does anything wrong. In slow motion, anyone should save it. In real time, I think he hits it hard. He's unopposed. And it goes into the top corner. What has Martial done this game? Nothing, says Jaden. Well, yeah, all the players we had worry about coming into this game have been worrying. Matic, Dan James, Martial, players that we either think aren't good enough or not playing well. Mark, I hear you say every week the reason these teams are giving us a game is because of our defence being a shambles every other game. Someone said COVID-19 is De Gea's fault. Rumour has it the media are frothing at the mouth, says Axel. This is not good after watching Leicester and City flow today. When will we ever get back to normal? It's draining Mark to watch our team, says Callum Turner. Greenwood for Martial and Diallo on for James. Tune in, Ollie, says Philip Burton Wood. Well, I'm going to try and see if I can get Flex on again here because we couldn't get him on before the game. So I'm very interested to sort of get an all-encompassing view of what he's thinking and what he thought about the team. So we'll give it a try. Hello, Flex. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we got it. Good. Well, we didn't get your pre-match thoughts. We can get your half-time thoughts. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. What are you thinking, I suppose?
Well, just on the Maguire thing, just quickly, I just think we're just slow to react. Like, he's kind of underneath the ball, and he's kind of just got to help it out. He's not really in a position to head it forward. I think that's just a scapegoating thing if we go in on Maguire.
No, I didn't think it was Maguire's fault.
Yeah, look, don't get me wrong. He's had his fair share of criticism, and rightly so. But you can't just every goal we can see just look at him. He's tried to head it back. There's got to be a bit of communication there. Fred's probably a bit too far away from the maximum. Martial's tucked in a bit too much. They've just both let. So no communication. It's really naive shit defending in the second phase. And just in general, I was just saying there, like as the full-time whistle, or throughout the whole first half, I'm like, it feels like the old United's back again. It does. It feels like, and people might say a bit pessimistic or doom and gloom or whatever, but it proper feels like they've just gone backwards. And with the injuries that we've got now, you wouldn't have thought it at one time, but McTominay's going to be a big miss. I hope he's not out for too long. Obviously, the Pogba situation, no Van der Beek, no Cavani. And we're looking a little bit lost. And you know what? Teams who come jam it on us with the press, like Newcastle are doing, being a bit braver, we're struggling. I think the midfield, I mean, look, people have been asking for Matic to play, more alongside Fred. Well, Ricky does a lot. Hasn't worked. It just looks so flat. Fred's passing has been particularly bad that half as well. I mean, that is probably the worst part of his game, apart from his shooting, is his passing at times. I know we've done the assist in the last game, but in general, it's something you kind of label Fred with, that you can give the ball away quite a bit. And he's been poor. Matic give away a couple as well. Dan James, I mean, you want to get him running at Jamal, but I think Jamal's really comfortable, just kind of,
were you surprised about? Were you surprised about Dan James actually starting this game? Because I was very surprised, and I said brave, but I was actually quite respectful. A lot of people in the live comments were a lot worse. I was like, he's a one-dimensional player, Dan James. He works really well against the team with the high line, not against the low block. To be fair, Newcastle haven't actually played a low block. They've actually attacked us.
Exactly. So it could have helped.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep a consistent energy. I actually said I don't mind that James getting another start. I went more in the kind of, he's coming off the back of a good performance. We need to rotate. We've got injuries.
I would have played Greenwood though. Greenwood doesn't need a rest.
I would have played Greenwood. Obviously, that would have been my main thing. I would have played Greenwood because obviously did Greenwood start? No, Greenwood didn't start, did he? Last game.
He played as number 9. He did play.
Oh, sorry. He did start. But anyway, obviously my first initial thought is always to play Greenwood over Dan James. But I'm just keeping the same energy. I'm not going to sit here and say, I know Dan James starting was a disgrace. I knew it from the start. Because I kind of thought, you know what? He's actually looking a bit confident on the break. He could actually help us. And he hasn't been the worst, but he's just basically null and void in that first half because Jamal's looking at it like he's only going to go one way.
But the thing about Dan James is he may as well be Marcus Albrighton. We're Manchester United. You need your right winger to create, and so many times he's had the ball, turned round and passed it backwards, and I'm like, I can do that. A Manchester United winger doesn't get the ball, turn round, I'm not going to run at him and pass it back. He's just doing a safe job. He's just running up and down. Like Ricky says, he gives us he keeps the shape of the team. But this keep the shape, keep it simple. We're not bloody Southampton. We're Manchester United. We can't have a player who just keeps it simple and keeps the shape of the team. You need a bit of creativity in that side.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going to have to happen. I can see the pattern of this game.
We're going to see the goal again now. Let's have a wait.
And before Rashford scored,
well, it's out of nothing, isn't it?
It's just something out of nothing. It's individual brilliance. That's what I mean about us. Looking like we've gone backwards there now because this is the 6th Premier League game now, or fifth and a half. And
well, I said it at the end of the half there. Fulham, I know we won against Fulham, but they gave us a game. Sheffield United beat us. West Brom gave us a game, and now Newcastle. The bottom four clubs.
Oh, the bottom ones.
Bottom four clubs have all made us look as good as them, not better.
And Sheffield United did it to us twice. Do you know what I mean? And West Brom done it to us twice. So
just very quickly, people talk about Bruno missing the Chelsea game. He doesn't miss the Chelsea game. People are getting lost in this 5 yellow cards thing. It reset about 3 weeks ago, so it's not 5. He has got his 5th yellow card, but he doesn't miss Chelsea.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a massive plus. He's not been as impactful as well. I think we've just really struggled with Newcastle pressing us, which is weird because Ollie's pre-match conference or interview was saying, they asked him, do you think Newcastle will sit back? And he goes, no, I don't think they will. I've looked at their last 4 games, 2 wins, 2 losses. And you saw them against Chelsea. They will press you. They will come at you. And we think they will. And if you're not prepared, they will catch you out. And it's almost like he didn't tell the players that, because the first 20 minutes, shocking, awful, awful. And Newcastle just pressing in the right areas and growing into the game. And I just think that we just look like we're going backwards and waiting for somebody to put a flash of brilliance out.
They're going to show the United game now. I mean, the live comments is full of Anthony Martial, which I don't disagree.
He hasn't been great.
But I just think you're missing the point. Like, I don't think Martial's been great, but how many chances has he had created for him? How much ball have we had it round the edge of the box? The problem with this team is not Anthony Martial. I'm not disagreeing that he's not had a good game, and if I give him a rating out of 10 now, he'd get a 4. But it's not the manager who's at fault here. It's not Martial it's at fault here. We're just watching the goal here. I mean, Scholes is going in on David De Gea now. I knew it. It's not on David De Gea. It's not on David De Gea.
He should come. What's he saying?
He said it's becoming a massive problem now. It's a media witch hunt on David De Gea.
Yeah, well, he's probably talking about the one where he done that pass.
Yeah, they've shown the pass, then they've shown it. They've shown something else, but there's the goal. Maguire. I don't blame Maguire on that. It's nobody marking St. Maximin. He's got a free shot in our own box.
That's what I mean. You look at it, and I'm not quite on that bit yet because I've come upstairs onto this. But you look at it, and it's Maguire can't really do much more with a header for me.
I don't blame Maguire. A lot of people are blaming Maguire. I'm like you. I don't blame Maguire.
I think that's just a scapegoat thing. That's just easy. So look, even the way we've set up from it, look at the acres of space that Willock's in. We're just not set up from it at all. Just naive, really naive from start to finish. And nobody's picked St. Maximum up. They've just left him. Martial's getting attracted to the ball. Fred's nowhere near. They just left him. They've all just left him. So it's not Maguire's fault. And De Gea definitely can't do anything about that. It's just really naive defending. We can't defend properly. Cannot defend properly.
What would you do at half-time in this game?
It's very difficult because you're looking at our bench. One thing I did say was the bench is exciting, but it's not experienced. So if we're in trouble, it could be very difficult. Because if you're looking in the centre mid, who's really going to come into there? I mean, you can't just do the FIFA thing and say, just play Mata in there or just try and get someone on the ball. You need the balance. That wouldn't work. Do you drop Bruno back and try and bring Mata? No. So it's tough. I don't see a lot of other options in central midfield. Definitely you're looking at getting Mason Greenwood on. Martial and James, either or, but probably James. Ahmad, it's not going to be a game for him, is it? I don't know. Can't see Ollie doing that. It's tight. This is looking peak, and that's what I mean. We're just waiting for individual brilliance to bring us through. It looks
we've
like
done nothing in
back.
that game. That's what worries me. We've created nothing in that game apart from Rashford, which started miles away from the goal.
Keeper should save it as well.
Yeah.
Keeper should save that.
It worries me. But look, you know what? I'm almost getting to the point where I think, drop David De Gea, get Dean Henderson in goal, and then we can still keep losing games, and then we can go, it wasn't De Gea then, because I'm tired of it. I'm absolutely tired of Sky and BT and Manchester Evening News and everybody else going after David De Gea because they're desperate to get Dean Henderson in goal because he's English. Do it, and then we'll still keep dropping points, getting schooled by teams like West Brom with Sam Allardyce and Steve Bruce with Newcastle, and nothing will change. So let's just crack on with that, because all I'm really interested in is why Manchester United for 45 minutes against a dodgy Newcastle side, which I watched last week against Chelsea and was shit, come to Old Trafford, tactically swamp us in the midfield and play better than us with players that are nowhere near as good as ours. You should not get a game that is equal between Newcastle and United when we've got all the best players than they've got, but it's a very equal game. And the reason it's an equal game is because Ollie's got all the gear and Bruce hasn't, but his tactics have overwhelmed Ollie's, and that's why it's an equal game. We have got the better players, but he's got the better tactics, and that's why it's come into an equal game.
100%. And but what is the really interesting thing about it is that Ollie's telling us in the interviews of what to expect. Like, yeah, this is what they're going to do. This is how we think they're going to play. So basically, we've set up for that. So, like how you said, actually, Dan James playing, and because Newcastle haven't played a low block, actually, you would have thought it'd be a game for him. He's identifying these things, but we're still not equipped to do what we need to do. So this is what I say to Ricky all the time. When he goes in on individual players, I'm saying, where's the energy for the coaching and stuff? What you can moan at Bruno by the way he plays individually, or the way that Rashford plays individually, or the way that the players you might not like play individually. And when he says that this player would do this at Pep's team, this player wouldn't do this at Pep, I'm going, exactly, because if they went there, the whole setup, their whole expectancy would be completely different. The whole way of playing would be completely different because of the coaching. So, look, I think we've given massive credit where it's due to Ollie of how he's progressed us in certain areas. But these are the areas that actually still remain and can get marked by good results, not good performances, good results. Being at the top, being near second for most of the for a long chunk of the season.
Yeah,
it masks these things, because when you don't, the individual thing stops clicking and the goals stop flowing. Look, we've scored the most goals in the league. Do you know what I mean? We've scored the most goals in the league. So, but we cannot defend and we can't dominate games. So there's still basically 2 layers more to sort out. You can't just score a shitload of goals, but you can't dominate teams. You can't control the game. Like, when can we dictate the tempo of the game, the feel of the game, the pace of the game? We never do it. Even when we're in the ascendancy, we might play in little splurts and get a couple of chances here and there, but we never dictate the pace and the direction of the game. And if you can't do that consistently, you're never going to be up there consistently challenging. We challenged for about 2 weeks, but the reason why is because what I just said there. We've got too many inconsistencies in the team that are now being highlighted because the mistakes are happening and we're conceding more.
How's it going to go second half, Lex? Do you think we're going to get the result here? I mean, I think the thing that worries me about it is that we're not creating anything. So for me to sit here and say, yeah, we're going to win it, it's just total speculation. There's no evidence that we're going to win it. We can change, but
if we win, it will be similar. I'd put it this way: I can't see us coming out second half and blitzing them with a whole different type of performance in terms of Ollie got into them, they sorted themselves out, and then they dominated and they went on to win 3-1. I'll be very surprised. I hope that's right, because I predicted 3-1. But I can't see it. I think if we win, it's more of the same. It's tight, it's cagey, and somebody does something. Bruno, bit of brilliance. Mason Greenwood off the bench, bit of brilliance. Rashford again, probably bit of brilliance. Or a mistake from Newcastle, because they're not quite there yet. They've got their own problems, and can they sustain a decent level of performance for 90 minutes? And that's sad that we're even needing to bring that into our argument of winning. It should be, we go and get the reaction, we change tactically, we improve, the shape changes or the intensity changes or something happens tactically, and we go and put them to bed. But I haven't got confidence in that, because like you said, it's evidence-based, and what evidence do we have to suggest that?
Exactly. Well, we'll see what happens. They're about to kick off, and we'll get you on the fan forum in a bit.
Yeah, see you in a bit.
Cheers, pal. Speak to you in a bit.
Cool.
So we are literally about to kick off this second half. Very, very fast there. Actually, it was a little bit quicker than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, I mean, look, a few super chats coming in here. Rashford, Bruno, etc. have to do something individual as the team is not creating. It says Kevin Shields. Bradley says Bay on to push them back. Greenwood on for more creativity off the right wing, says Bradley. I've watched every live game today and we've looked uninspired and tactically shambolic. Other than Rashford moment, his whole team has been poor, says Ryan McGreevy. How many times this season has De Gea cost United with giving the ball to the other team with his kicking out of the box? And what is Harry doing Sunday League? Well, LD Productions, it wasn't the kick from David De Gea led to a shot which went for a goal kick. So I don't know what you're talking about. There's no correlation between the goal that Newcastle scored and David Gea's bad kick, which he did do in the first half. So, if you're going to start saying things, get it accurate. The goal was nothing to do with David Gea kicking the ball out. It's a disgrace that a club of our size is settling with this defence. How is Ollie just sitting there? He almost looks satisfied with the performance, says Bradley. And hi, Mark, where did you see it? Okay, I've done that one as well. Okay. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We're on that road to 1 million now. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Get involved with the channel. I do need to change the screen. The timer is up and running. Sorry about that. I mean, yeah, you know, I just he's made no changes at half time. I've watched. I didn't really watch West Ham Spurs. I watched Leicester and I watched Man City, and they're first and second at the moment, and we're third. Leicester played really good stuff for half an hour to get 2-0 up. They had a pattern of play. They played good football. Man City, as we know, we're just not playing well at the moment. But I have to say that I predicted this before the game when the team news came out. I said I'm really worried about Bruno Fernandes being isolated in this game because there's nobody to get him the ball quick enough. Like Matic and Fred will not. As I said, you know, it's the old spag bol, isn't it? Again, that what are you expecting from Matic and Fred if you know already that they are two players that can't move the ball quickly from back to front? What are you expecting from Maguire and Lindelof if you know already they have to play deep because they're a pair of donkeys? Like, we've played deep. We've got two players playing close to them who can't pass. Look, we're doing it now. How do we expect to get from back to front when we're playing with a back six, none of which can move the ball? We're swamped in our own half. Newcastle aren't even having to work to get into our half. They win the ball back in our half all the bloody time with this stupid crossing that we're doing. Andrew O'Brien, welcome to the Members Club. And don't get how Ollie can watch that half time and not make any subs, says Jaden. Oh my God, St Maximum's just sent Dan James back to Swansea. Thank God Wan-Bissaka makes the tackle. But yeah, you know, we're not getting from back to front. The story of that first half is that Newcastle have had a lot of the ball in our half. And the story of our half is that we've not had a lot of ball in their box. Because we're not getting from back to front. There's no creativity, exactly. You're not... Look, we're doing it again. We're doing this pass out from the back with players who can't pass. And Newcastle are loving it. They're just picking the ball up every bloody time. I mean, look, Dan James has just headed it to a Newcastle player. It's infuriating. We're trying to pass out from the back with players who can't pass out from the back. Welcome to Members Club, Carter C. What will Ollie do with 4 minutes to go without Donny? Says Brad Lewis. Stop the flame. We score more goals in the Premier League, says John Bravo. And Juan Mata on for Matic and drop Bruno back to CM. It might be an idea, Daniel. You know, we've got to get something next to Fred. And good save. Oh, straight at De Gea, actually. Good shot by... I meant to say good shot by St Maximin. But again, if this goes in the bottom corner and it's unstoppable, who's marking him? How many... There's 6 Man United players there and he's on his own and he gets a shot off. You know what I'm saying? How is he doing that? How is a player controlling that ball on the edge of our box, moving across the edge of our box and getting a shot off? They've had 8 shots. 5 on target to 2. That is a bloody disgrace. Newcastle have had 5 shots on target to our 2. Freddie's so bad I don't actually know what he offers, says Sean Negative Turner. Ollie needs to give Tuchel a call. He's subbing subs over energy and attitude. Ollie just sees it out. Hi Mark, can you call my friend Skit a Pratt? Says, I don't know who that was, but it was Hanny. Thank you. This is a disgraceful start to the second half. It's worse than the first 5 minutes of the first half. Matic is done, isn't he? You know, it's on grass. I'm surprised there's not a tombstone that says Nemanja Matic, rest in peace, career ended in 2020. Because he's just been awful. Awful. All he does is pass it backwards and sideways and plod around like a slow robot. I'm hoping this is a jinx, by the way, because I have called Matic a bag of cement in 2019, and then he had a great 2020. But Nemanja Static. I mean, Dan James is just becoming a backup right back now. He basically... Somebody said that before the game. Dan James is actually being picked to help out Wan-Bissaka with St. Maximin. It's like we're playing Man City. Bloody hell. Lindelof, Ollie and Maguire all have to go. They're all horrid. Matic and Fred need to go to Brentford, says Brad Lewis. Hi, Mark. I've just started watching. Is Mason Greenwood on the bench? One of our most informed players. Seems odd he's not playing, says Nick P. Yeah, mate, you're not the only one. Bruno into number 8 and Shaw retiree on in number 10. Now it's not going to happen, but why not? He's the future, says Luke Darling. They're dominating us here. You know what? They are dominating us here. This second half, it's all Newcastle. I'm not joking. We've hardly got out our half. There's only one winner in this game at the moment. Maximum is sourcing, says DBX. Matic ain't had a lot of games. What's Fred's excuse? Says Sean Negative Turner. Well, United have got a bit of a chance to get into the half here. Sadly, Ollie is just not up to it. Blinded by favouritism, individualism and poor tactically, says Scotty J-Dog. I really miss the silky football we used to play with Sir Alex Ferguson. What the fuck is Ollie doing playing Dan James ahead of Mason Greenwood? Well, here is Dan James. Oh my fucking God. Get him off the pitch. He's won it back. Because he had to bloody win it back because it was such a bad pass in the first place. Sharath Kamath Fitness says every player's been maimed, but not one word about the manager. I think there's been a lot of word about the manager, Sharath, to be fair. This is tactically embarrassing. This first 7 minutes of the second half has been a disgrace. Dan James has Lurgy pass it on, says Blake Rowe. Perhaps we may want to suggest to Ollie a tactical adjustment may be in order. Just saying. I'm stunned, Brad Lewis, that he hasn't changed this. I mean, how is it that Newcastle are pressing us so high up in our half, and then when we get the ball, they've got everyone behind the ball? I mean, to me, this is evident again of an inability to move the ball quickly. So lethargic, and look at this side to side crap. Here's Rashford. Go on, Rashford. Just have a shot. Do it all on your own. Goal kick. Who's in the box? Where's the sub? Says Jack Brown 852. And welcome to the Members Club, Colin Murphy. Thank you, Michael Shelley, for the super chat. I don't know how you can sit there as a Manchester United manager for 55 minutes, looking unhappy, but actually have the power to change things. Like, make some bloody changes. Even if you don't want to change players, Newcastle are making a sub. They're dominating the game and they're making a sub. Even if you don't want to change players, change your bloody tactics. Do something to change the game, because you're just sitting there inviting the inevitable at the moment, unless they don't score and we create something. I mean, Joe Linton's going off. That might help us a little bit because he's a handful. But to just sit there and do nothing is really frustrating and not acceptable. He's got to do something tactically here, because this is, unless we get lucky, and it will be a lucky win if we win this, off a bit of individualism, then this is, I bet Steve Bruce is sat there thinking, I wish I had the players Ollie's got because I'd beat him. And he would. If he had the players that we've got, he'd beat us, because tactically he's beat us. Have we gotten out of our half yet, says Lee? We are at the moment. Luke Shaw's got it. Hi, Mark. Ollie has to change things. We can't afford draws from West Brom and Newcastle, says Jordan Such. Hi, Mark. It was my birthday yesterday. I was hoping for a masterclass, but same old United, says Random Red Box. Have you noticed Ollie is always asking people for advice? You're the manager. Take charge and make some changes. Yeah, Sean Negative Turner. To be honest with you. Oh, here we go. Dan James. Yes! Get in. He scores. You see what I mean? I told you he was a good player. No, I'm only joking. He's it's a bit of luck the way it falls to him, but he gets the goal and Man United get that little bit of luck. I told you, Ollie is such a lucky manager. Such a lucky manager. Steve Bruce looks broken. Well, we'll take it. Playing absolute shit, but take the win. Take the win. Well, let's have a look. It's Matic who gets the assist as well. Well, it's Bruno who gets the assist. Lovely. It's a good finish by Dan James, but it's Bruno who gets the assist. Matic puts the ball in across the box. Bruno stretches it, and it helps it to Dan James, and he hits it nice and low. Right, let's just hold on to this bloody result now. God, we've been shite. We've really been shite. I'm not going to pretend that we haven't. Look, I literally just said that before. We have not played well. It is not our, oh, sit down, Ollie knows what he's doing. We've been embarrassing in this game. We've had an individual... Look at him, he turns around like it was all part of the fucking plan. We've played shit. I've got to be honest. We've played absolutely shit. Steve Bruce has tactically schooled Ollie throughout this whole game. We've had an individual bit of brilliance from Rashford, and then we get a little bit of a lucky cross that falls to Dan James and he finishes it well. We've created absolutely nothing in this game. And we're very lucky to be 2-1 up. But I tell you what, I'll eat it because we just need to win this game today. I would happily blow the whistle, have a bit of a moan about how we've played, but take the 3 points. Because anybody watching this game, including Newcastle fans, Chelsea fans, and anybody else who's in a top 4 race with us, would say, how bloody lucky are United? And I embrace that. I love that. I think when you win, when you play Bradley, it's brilliant. But... we've made a right meal of this game today and we haven't played well. We have not played well. It's not 2-1 to Newcastle. I've just made it 2-1 to Newcastle. It really isn't. But it's a good finish by Dan James. You'd expect him to finish it. It's another assist for Bruno, but this has not been good from United. And I'm not gonna paper the cracks on it. This has been tactically not good. But we've got better players than Newcastle. And, you know, they haven't got the players that we've got. So we have got those opportunities to, put them to bed if we get it. So, yes, blow the final whistle, take the 3 points. Let's get out of this game because it ain't been good so far. But can I just say, if you want to do a little clip of fun, there was a bit in the first half where somebody said, if you sing Blinded by the Lights, Dan James will score the winner. Well... it's happened. Martial, good shots. You see, bit of confidence from United now, and we win a corner. Good shot from Tony there. Strong, good skill, good shot. That's what you want to see from Martial. I tell you what, that would make a really good clip if anyone can be asked. At some point in the first half, somebody said in the live chat, if you sing Blinded by the Light, Dan James will score a goal. You could play that little bit and then you could move it through to the second half for Dan James' goal. Magic does happen. Dan James, he could have hit that one as well. Well, hopefully it's the kick up the arse we need. Ollie's going to start Dan James from now on, says Richard Allen. I mean, look, he scored a goal. Well done. But his overall performance hasn't been that good, I don't think. But, you know, you score a goal, you probably deserve to start. Well, I don't know. You make your own mind up. If it's the winning goal, start him the next game. I'm not really fucking bothered, to be honest. I just want to win. These points are really important today. Really important. We've got to win this game. Euro Millions is 210 this week. Ollie should buy a ticket with his luck. Might be able to buy some defenders then, says David Brannigan. And hey, Mark, I will take this win now. We have been dreadful, tactically outclassed. Fred has been a nightmare of a game. And I knew the singing would work, says Remy. Look, I just want the game to end. I just want to take the 3 points, have a big grin. I nearly said something else. Have a big grin, I said, and get out. But look, we might go and win it 3 or 4-1 now. I'll stick to the last time we played Dan James. He's still Sonic the Hedgehog, took his chance. That's all that matters, says Gaz Hardy. And welcome to Members Club, Jack Bridger. No way Fred is Brazilian with passing like this, says Robbo FM. This is what scares me, Mark. We score and he won't change anything for a while. We need a change, says Stephen Atkinson. Well, you know, to be fair, both our goals have come against the run of play, haven't they? It's been a counter-attacking performance against Newcastle at home. That's how I would read that game. This game has been actually, Newcastle have had more shots on goal, way more corners. We've basically counter-attacked Newcastle at home. And if it works, it works. But it could have gone very, very differently. The problem now is Ollie will think things are going well and change nothing. We don't deserve to win this, says Darry. Well, I'm always a big fan of winning games when you don't deserve to win it anyway. I always think it's great when you win games and you don't deserve it. Because, you know, you tend to finish higher up in the league when you do that. Sorry, but you can't give that as an intentional assist for Bruno, says Wayne. You can definitely give it an assist. This team is 9 points clear of Liverpool at the moment, says Sean Negative Turner. It's a funny old league, Sean. It's a funny old league. Hey, Mark, this has been a poor performance. Nothing created bad at the back. De Gea has been the saviour again. The fans that want De Gea out have not seen him play. Blind fans. United to win 3-1, says Mohammed Idris. Said Jamie says it's the biggest smash and grab I've ever seen. Inject it, Jamie. You know, I mean, I'm not going to complain. I think we need to win this game. I said it in the preview. I've said it all week. This is a massive 3 points. It's not even about. I don't think this 3 points gets us second place. I just think it keeps us a little bit with a bit of breathing space for the top 4. Maximus says Ricky's got a hard on now. And another assist for Bruno. Stretch to pass it, says Salah Ahmed. It's definitely an assist. Don't care what anybody says. Thomas Coyle is a legend, says Tommy Mullen. And Pro Rocket is on the dark fruits. Carrick took charge in Europa League game. He did a better job than Ollie. Norway is not the pinnacle of talent, says Colin Murphy. He won't be bringing any young lads on in a game like this. Long shot from Rashford. Worth a go. How long's left? Oh my God, 25 minutes. I was hoping there was like 7. I've never wanted a game to end so much. Although, since the goal, we've actually been a bit better. I just wonder if Newcastle are a bit deflated now. I think if he's going to make subs, it'll be Greenwood, Mata. We won't see Diallo or Show Retiree in this game. Oh, Martial was nearly through there. He was offside anyway. Ron says, apparently it's 6 goals in 8 games for Dan James. Yeah, but you know what? Here's the question for you. And it's not really a fair question to ask with so much left in the game. But if you take that goal off Dan James, I guarantee you in the player ratings, you would give him 4. And you'd be right. He's done nothing in this game. But then he scores a goal and everyone will be like, match winner, he's brilliant. And the thing is, this is the thing about scoring goals. I said it about Marcus Rashford in the first half. Marcus Rashford can have a really bad game and then he can score the winning goal. Dan James could be man of the match contender in this game because he wins us the game. But take the goal off him and I think he's been really poor. You know, he's offered absolutely nothing. But if you've got that ability to score goals, you can't ignore it, can you? I know you want to finish higher than last year, but I think there's benefits to winning a cup, finishing top 4 and bleeding some Eusters in the league games, says Glenn Tracy. Watchers give up an equaliser off a corner because of Sonal Markin in the 94th minute, says Brad Lewis. We're actually playing a lot better at the moment. Newcastle are not getting much of the ball. Fred, Dan James. Not a good cross, but we should still pick it up. Am I the only one missing Lord Longardino, says Dendrick? Yeah, I wouldn't want Lingard. Might not like James as a player, but no denying 3 goals and assists in his last 3 appearances, says Jonathan Matthews. We seem a bit tired, says Ice, from Europa League, undeserved lead. Well, sometimes you need a bit of luck. There's no denying that Newcastle don't deserve to be losing this game, but I really don't care. We're at that point of the season now where you just need to get the points. Maguire, that's a terrible. I mean, Maguire's passing's been really bad tonight. It's not normally something that he's bad at. But what does Magaluf get in player ratings for you, says Salah Ahmed? 5s. Oh, I mean, I don't think they've been dreadful, but I don't think they've been good either. 6 is average, isn't it? So I'd give them 5. I don't think anybody's played particularly well tonight. I think De Gea's played quite well. I think Luke Shaw's played quite well. You've got to give Dan James and Rashford a bit of credit for scoring the goals. But Matic and Fred... Thank you, Lee YS. Do you have a minus in the player ratings? Matic and James are definitely on my list, says Stephen Atkinson. You can only back a manager so much, says John Prestham. All of this is the centre-back pairing. The whole team is not confident with Maguire and Lindelof. I agree with you, John. I think you're absolutely spot on there. And you know we've got issues when Dan James has more confidence to score than Tony, says Kevin Miller Music. Here's Martial, Rashford, Fred. You've also got to say that as well. It's a big loss when you haven't got Pogba, and I think even McTominay gives us a little bit more than what Matic gives us. The amount of unforced errors we make is incredible for players being paid what they do. Then again, Lingard was the same, and look at him now, says Chris Seaborn. Hi Mark, it's my birthday today. Could you wish me happy birthday, says Keen. Happy birthday, and you're a prat. He asked for that. And starting to lose my patience with the tactical mistakes time and time again, says Jack Edwards. Annoying that we can see the errors and the manager can't, says Jack Edwards. Well, Martial's been brought off here with 20 minutes to go for Greenwood. That's a kick in the teeth for Martial. Greenwood coming on, a 19-year-old coming on up front for Anthony Martial, who was Player of the Year last year, and Dan James stays on the pitch. It's a kick in the teeth for Martial fans. That, I mean, I'm a Martial fan, but I can't argue with the substitution, to be honest. I probably would have took Dan James off, but the fact that he scored a goal, be a bit harsh to take him off. And we're probably going to have to put in a defensive shift as well. Corner. "20 minutes to go. I'd love the third goal. Suck it in." Suck the ball into the net, get out of here and win the game. Luke Shaw with the corner. Flick to the back post. Oh, Bruno. Maguire's just too slow to get on it. It was one of those front post. He flicks it. Bruno's not happy, actually. Is he ever happy? He gets the flick and he's like, oh, Maguire, for fuck's sake. Look how angry Bruno is there. That's been worked on the training ground, that has. Maguire's nowhere fucking near it. Come on, Harry. Sometime this year. See how angry Bruno is there. He flicks it to the back post and he knows somebody should be getting on it, and Maguire's just not got there quick enough. Oh well. Has anyone ever noticed that Dan James' name is made up of two first names, or is it just me? Says Ricky Bobby. And Martial is one of my favourite players. What's going on with him this season? Not the same player after that red card against Tottenham. And I know it's due to injury, but Fred and Matchic's both left-footed really doesn't work on top of the mobility and passing issues, says Daniel Harding. Ollie's doing so well with the worst spine in the top. Back him, says Cavani FC. Yeah, but he picks that sign, Cavani. He picks that spine. Like, there's a better spine he could pick. This is the thing. I want Ollie to do really well, is Greenwood. I want Ollie to do really well, but he picks that spine. He could pick a better one. It's not like he's only got Maguire and Lindelof and he's only got Matic and Fred. He picks it. We've actually, you know what? Since we've gone 2-1 up, we've been the better team. So hopefully this will continue. Just going back on Martial, everyone knows Martial's one of my favourite players at United and has been for a number of years. But I did a video, was it last week, basically saying I think Martial might leave United this summer. And I don't think it's because United want to sell him. I think he might want to go, and he might knock on Ollie's door over the next few weeks and months and say, I want to go. So I think Martial might be coming towards the exit door at United. And to be honest with you, what really sparked that for me was the fact that he's not a first teamer anymore. You know, Cavani's injured and he's being subbed after 70 minutes. He's not a first teamer. He's not a first name on the sheet anymore. He's not a senior pro anymore. Like last year, this never would have happened. So he's regressed this year, and I don't think he'll be very happy, and I think he might leave. Penalty! It's a penalty! Get in! Rashford wins the penalty. It's a stonewaller. Let's get the 3 points. Let's get out of Dodge. Lovely play by Rashford there. I tell you what, Rashford, he's played in bits and bobs today, but he's probably won us this game here. Definitely a penalty. Look at the skill. Or is it? Willock's not complained. I think he stands on his foot. Yeah, he catches him afterwards. Willock the Pillock. Arsenal man. Bruno to put the game to bed. They ain't going to score 2 against us now. Come on. Sunday night football. Don't you love it? We need these 3 points. How lucky have we been? Well, sometimes you create your own luck. We've not played well today, but we could get the most convincing result out of anybody. Here he comes. Bruno. Yes! Come on! 3-1. 3 points in the bag. We needed those points today. Screw the fact we've not played well. Sometimes when you win, when you play badly, it's all about that. It's another goal for Bruno. It's another penalty for Bruno. It's another penalty for Manchester United. Thanks to Willock the Pillock. It's definitely a penalty. And it's 3-1. I don't know what Newcastle are complaining about. Oh, I tell you what. We can breathe a bit now. We can breathe a bit now. Very, very important 3 points. Puts us 9 points ahead of Liverpool. 6 points ahead of Chelsea. We need that. We need that. I'll tell you what, I will sit here, like many of you, and say we've not played well tonight at all. Tactically, I think Bruce has outdone us. I think it comes down to the fact that if he had better players, he would have won it. With better players, we've not done what we should have done. I think Steve Bruce can sit there and say, I was a better coach than Ollie today. Tactically, I did better than him, but he just had the better players to win the game, which I think is a fair assumption. But you know what? You didn't win the game. And you know what? Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans, Leicester fans, Arsenal fans, Spurs fans, they'll be bloody fuming. Because they'll be like, oh, United have played absolutely shit and they've won the game. It's getting on my nerves. But we're second in the league. So You've got to enjoy that. We've got to defend now. I ain't sitting through another Everton comeback. Park the damn bus and park the fridge, says Lee YS. Bruno's been useless this game. James has done way more than him in this game. Nothing sad about Bruno. Standard Goldbridge at the ender, says Mark O'Brien. You know what, Mark? You know what happens on my match reaction? There's this player ratings bit where you get to vote for your player ratings and I do mine. And then we compare the two and I talk about every individual player. I didn't realise I had to start talking about player performances every single one at the 76-minute mark. So I will talk about like this, like I talk about it every game. And I tell you what, I don't have agendas. I just want Manchester United to win. So I don't know what you're talking about. Sounds like you're a very bitter person. Ahmed Time says Uncle Drew, and time for young lads to come on, says Luke Kelly. He won't do it. He won't. He will not do it. He will not bring any of the youngsters on. No, I don't think he will. I don't think he will, because in the back of his head he'll be thinking Newcastle have played well, they might get a couple of goals. Poor today, but we needed the 3 points and we have them, and that is all that matters, says Mohammed. I agree. Talking of player ratings, they should be out on the website, and I'm very interested to see tonight what your player ratings are going to be on the match reaction show, so I will let you know where you can vote for them, and you can start doing your votes now if you want to. Looks like we've got the 3 points in the bag, which is always quite nice to be in that position with still, 15 minutes to go. We do win a lot of games like this, don't we? Where you look at the team and you think, how have we managed to win that game? We've been absolute shit for a large portion of it. But when you've got players like Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes, match winners, then I don't know how we've won this game today, really. I mean, looking at it, I don't know how. I think the fact that Newcastle just probably haven't got good enough players to take advantage of how much they dominated us in the first half. Maybe. I don't know. But it's a very, very important win. That's all I'm going to say. I've dropped the player ratings link in the video description. That will take you to the unitedstand.com. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being your average. Put a star next to your the man of the match and submit your score. It is there. Player ratings, yes. Okay, that's good. Hi, Mark. Can you say hi to me and Charlie and Kettletree? Says Jack Sanders. Bruno, get in, says Ryan O'Donoghue. Mark, you were looking for a fancy Dan player. St Maximin is the prime example. Yeah, Marky. We just got a 8-2 park the bus now. Time to go. Jose on this, and let's not bother with attacking. Van Hal time, says Lee YS. Poor today. Yeah, we've done that one. Dwight Gale's coming on for Newcastle. I think as Manchester United fans, we're just very realistic, aren't we? We're sort of at that stage where it's like, if we can get a trophy this season, great. But really, we just want top 4 and we want the board to spend some bloody money. I'd love to be the Glazers or Ed Woodward watching this, because I'd be like, look, I'm not going to sack Ollie, but fucking hell, we need to spend some money in the summer because that team's not very good. And we've ridden our luck a bit today, and we've ridden our luck a bit this season. And we need 3 or 4 Brunos across that team to really go to the next level. Because I think if we don't buy well in the summer, next season we could finish 7th. We could finish 3rd again, but we could finish 7th. There's no, I think Liverpool next season, Man City next season, Chelsea next season, they know they're going to be fighting for top 4, whether it be 1st, 2nd or 3rd. But I think with United, we totally deserve to be 2nd, but next season I've got no confidence that we'll definitely be 2nd or 3rd next year. I'm like, God knows with this team. So we've got to get to the summer, we've got to get top 4, and we've got to buy players in the summer. Love to see Fred pass completion rate today, says Ben Anderson. This manager never make the right subs. How is Fred still playing? Where is Van der Beek? Well, he's injured, J. Powell. And Mark, you were looking... I've done that one as well. Get Ahmed on, people are saying. I don't think Ahmed will get brought on. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We're on that road to 1 million now. We've hit 990. Here's Dan James on the right-hand side. Nearly got a goal there. Cross came in and deflected. Mark, I made the video of you singing Blinded by the Light and tagged you on Twitter. King Morrison, that's not going to be good enough. I need to know your Twitter feed to retweet it. Tagging me on Twitter will not work. I get tagged in so much. I'll just never find it. Corner to United. Luke Shaw. Ooh, Shelby. Blinded by the lights again, says Remy. Oh, well, found it. Dan James will score a screamer if you sing Blinded by the Lights again, says Remy. Ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. I know I can't sleep until I feel your touch. Now, he better bloody score now. I made myself look a crap for that. Go! Dan James! Yes! Get in! He scores! You see what I mean? I told... I'm going to quote you. I'm going to quote it, mate. I found it. I've just tweeted it. If you're on Twitter, everybody... I've just tweeted it at Mark Goldbridge. Give it a retweet. The lad's actually gone out and edited it, so give it a retweet. It's on my Twitter at Mark Goldbridge. Fair play to him. Fair play to him. Never thought I'd say this as someone who called Lingard Messi Lingard for so long, but you might have made a mistake letting him go. No, we didn't, Sean. Because where would Jesse Lingard play in this team? You're never going to drop Bruno Fernandes. You're never going to drop Rashford. He's not a right winger. And we play with two pivots. So, I'm over the moon for Maguire should have bloody scored there. Another header. That needs compiling as well. The headers Maguire has missed this season that he should have scored from corners. You could write a book. Forget putting 9 past Southampton and enjoy this victory more because these results win titles, says Sean Finity. Too often we don't score or defend when it really counts. This will be a good victory if it comes, says Sean Finity. Mark, you're right. Martial has not had the best game, but the commentators are laying into him. They also love everything Greenwood does, says Mikan. There is an English bias in the English media, and we've always had it. They will go majorly hard on Martial. They will absolutely lap up anything Rashford's done today. And it's not Rashford's fault. They'll find a way to blame De Gea for the goal. They'll find a way to, make out that a routine catch by Dean Henderson is the world's best save. I'm English, and I know there's an English media bias in this country, and there always has been. What's the injury news on Pogba, Van der Beek and McTominay? Our bench is looking very thin. Keep up the content, Jamie Gray. I think Van der Beek and Cavani are close. And I think McTominay might not be far off. Pogba's probably 2 or 3 weeks off, Jamie Gray. Mark, you're all right. Okay, I've done that. I think Greenwood is a better number 9 than Martial. There, I've said it, says Deco. The media are dangerous and have a huge responsibility to be unbiased as possible, says Red Baron. It's proven that if you repeat a lie over and over again, De Gea dissing, it will stick and people will just repeat it. You're absolutely spot on. This is why I fight against it. For clarity, I fight against it for fairness. I think it's very dangerous what they're doing, and I can see it a mile off. Mark, can you call my mate Ollie a gherkin? Cheers, says Jack Saunders. Love the content, Mark. Keep up the great work, says Jack Edwards. And James been really good lately. Stats don't lie. Hope we can all enjoy it instead of imagining what if Mason or Thiago played. Mickey is love. I don't think Dan James has even had a good game. I don't. I think he's scored an important goal, but I think you take that goal off and I'm giving him less than a 5 out of 10. So I don't think he's been good lately. I really don't. I think he's scored a goal. I love Martial as I am, half French, but this season, even with the lack of service, he's been a shadow of himself, says Bear. Yeah, I love Martial and I would agree with that. Here's Luke Shaw. Oh, it's a delightful cross by Shaw. Finds Mason Greenwood. Block shot. 85 gone. We're nearly there. The sad thing is, whatever you think about Martial, there will be people putting out racist abuse on social media tonight. Think about that. Greenwood's the only sub that's been used, yeah. And a lot of these players played on Thursday night. So I always say this about Ollie, whether we win or lose or draw, he only ever gets stick for his subs when we're losing or we're drawing, and people will say, "Why has he not changed it? He should have changed it tonight." You know, you've got to keep the heat up on your opinions, otherwise you become agenda driven. Really, he should have made subs in this game as well. Wouldn't blame Martial for wanting to leave. So-called fans racially abusing him after every bad performance when the lad is clearly lacking confidence, says Jake Pennington. You know what? You can see the draining of Newcastle's confidence from this game. They know they can't get back into it anymore. They've not really done anything since that second goal. It killed them. But I'm just over the moon that we've got the 3 points tonight. It was so important to win. It's not, you know, I'd probably give, on the player ratings, I'll probably give Ollie a 5 tonight. And people are going to go mad, but I'm going to give him a 5, I think. I am. I think I'm going to give him a 5. As he's marking out. I'm going to give him a 5. I've said it 5 times. I'm going to give him a 5. I am going to give him a 5. I think he's very lucky tonight. Really lucky. I don't think this is down to good coaching or good tactics. He's basically stuck with the same tactics that haven't worked all game, but somehow managed to get a win. I mean, many of you might think differently, and that's up to you. But I don't think it's been a vintage Solskjaer performance tonight. I thought the win over Sociedad was very impressive, but tonight, in my opinion, he's going to make a double substitution now. Mata's coming on, and T-Ray is coming on to make his debut. Looks so young. Fair play to the lad. Dan James comes off. So we'll get a few minutes, which is nice. We did it with Diallo. Hopefully we can get him on the ball. You say hopefully you can get him on the ball, but Rashford comes off as well. Ollie's very happy. He will be happy. He will be happy. You can do your player ratings through the link in the video description. Every player out of 10, 6 being average, star next to your man of the match, and you get to mark Ollie as well. So get in there as well for that. I'm very excited to see what people give in their player ratings this week for this game, because I think it really depends on how joyous you are with the win and how generous that makes you with the performances, because I absolutely accept that we've not played well. I'm absolutely over the moon that we've won because we needed to win, but I'm not blinded by the light of that win, if you know what I mean. You know, I always feel that the best time to be constructive is when you win, but you've not played well, and I think that's one of those games for me tonight for United. But the main thing is that we won the game. I'm just having a quick look here. Renate with a sticker. Hope you're doing well. Eamon Madden, thanks for the super chat. And Mr. Bra, he was born in 2004. Mark makes me feel very old, says Kyle. Chemistry between Rashi and Shaw keeps getting better and better. Now it's T-Ray time, says Uncle Drew. I think that's how you pronounce it. T-Ray. It's definitely 4 cinnamons anyway. Yeah, you could just vote for him as your man of the match. But it'd be nice for him to get a touch on the ball here. 3 minutes added on. I'd say candidates for man of the match. Well, Rashford, definitely. I actually think De Gea's played well, but it will be painted that he didn't. But I think he has played well. He actually had quite a few saves to make in that game, and the goal was nothing to do with him. So I think De Gea's played quite well. Luke Shaw's played quite well. I wouldn't put Bruno in the category. I mean, you could chuck Dan James in there as well. You could, but apart from the goal, I don't think he's done anything. I thought You know what I think about Dan James is that it's just the fair weather fan that votes for him and Ricky, because in the first half he was missing in action, and in the second half he scores a goal which is a one-on-one effectively. I don't think that's a man of the match performance compared to Rashford's goal, which was out of nothing, and he wins the penalty that makes the game safe. So Rashford's man of the match for me, I think. But look, it's your vote. Links in the video description. Matic is man of the match. He did well when Newcastle were attacking us, says Mr. Bra. Off to Spec Savers tomorrow, mate. Do get those eyes tested. I hope Ahmed will become great in the future. My opinion is James is better right now, and I just want to win. Just my opinion, though. Much respect for yours, says Mickey is love. Here's Greenwood down the right-hand side. Mata. There he is, the youngster. He does look a bit small, doesn't he? I don't think he's ready yet. But it's great for the lad to get on the pitch. We've been poor tonight. Commentator pronounced it Show Atiri. Says Matt Roseblade. Show Atiri. Well, there's so many people. Ollie had Show Atiri penciled in because he's from Newcastle, says KP7. I'm just happy to get the win, really. I think if you'd said to me at half time, as me and Flex were talking about it, I couldn't see how we were going to get the win. And we've done it. BT gave man of the match to Shaw, says Fizzy. I think Shaw's had a good game. I don't know whether I'd give him any man of the match, but, you know, he's definitely been Luke Shaw again, hasn't he? We're 100 subscribers away from 991,000, so I'm just going to shout out, please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and see if you can push us over that before full time. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 a.m. Loads and loads of interactive stuff. Obviously on match day, we're live like we are now. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. We're on the road to 1 million, and we're 100 away from 991,000. So please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I've triple captains, sure, says Robert Johnston. Hi, Mark. I think you pronounce it Shola Shortier, says Josh Clements. We need to find this out because there's so many ways. Ollie had Show Retire, penciled it. I've done that one from KB7. The final whistle goes. It will not go down as a vintage Manchester United performance. But what it will go down is as a game that Manchester United needed to win. We played on Thursday night in Turin and we won 3-1. I've got no sympathy for Newcastle because I'm not a Newcastle fan, but they did play well. They probably did deserve something out of the game for about an hour. But when we made it 2-1, we took the game away from them. We were a bit lucky. I admit we were, but we've won the game. Now, please do your player ratings. Links in the video description for the player ratings, or just go to theunitedstand.com. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being your average. Star your man of the match. Give Ollie a mark out of 10. I really want to go through this on the match reaction because I'm going to give Ollie a low score. And people are going to go, but I'm a big fan of Ollie. And I've said give him till May. But I tell you what, just because we've won a game doesn't mean you shouldn't have your eyes open. I thought tactically and the way we played today wasn't good. I think individualism won us the game today. But we'll talk about that in the match reaction. It's a massive 3 points. I'll see you over there in a couple of minutes and make sure that you do your player ratings. See you in a couple of minutes. Links are in the video description.